Oh boy. We're missing Jenny tonight. We do have Beth, who's been. Oh, there she is. Okay, just in time. Perfect timing, Beth. As a warning, Beth, we are now on air.
All right.
When we last left our heroes, things were really bad. Let me pull up the party sheet real quick. Okay, you guys, having completed one quest for the Legion, agreed, I think hesitantly, some of you, to perform another. But before you did that, you wanted to head out and investigate the Wizard's Tower that is rumored to be up in the Palace District of this destroyed city. At the behest of your new friend, Oz. So you guys headed out. You managed to avoid several encounters through superior perception and stealth and navigation. Excuse me. Unfortunately, on the, I think, 5th check, you guys ran into a couple of new types of ghoul that you had never seen before. One of them had runes kind of carved into its flesh. It seemed to be able to use magic and stunned, I think, Vera and... I think it was just Vera. Maybe one other. For 2 or 3 rounds, I don't remember. It was a while. Although it ended up working out to your benefit because Vera has full health. And the other were these strange, huge ghouls. Well, okay, large. Officially, their class size is large. Ghouls that the other one was riding. And all of them were vicious and nasty and did a lot of damage to your party. Talia went down at one point, but Vera, with a prayer to Silhaloon, managed to bring her conscious again and drag her out of the fight. You guys eventually, Shoji, with a clutch fear spell, drove them, the remainder, away. After you killed the one with runes on its arms, drove the 2 ghoul steeds away. But
I also brought 3 more ghouls in.
Also that, yes. While I finish this up, can you find out what level spell fear or cause fear is? Okay. And so the fight is now over. The ghouls have fled. Our party is sitting at not a lot. Looks like I don't have precise numbers, but everybody except Vera is severely hurt, and Vera is not at all hurt. So, as you guys kind of stand here at this crossroads, the Legionnaires kind of pull out of the alleys that they were defending. You can see dead ghouls littered across the ground there. All of the Vreeman soldiers that you guys have with you, again, you've got a squad of 8. All of them are bearing some sort of bite or scratch, but overall look like they're doing okay. And Oz, as you stand there holding just like the top half of the skull of one of the ghoul steeds, the conductor of the squad looks at you and goes, "You must be Oz. They told me you were a little bit insane."
Well, appropriately, not responding and am absolutely mutilating this corpse. I'm like taking the jaw and like screaming and smashing it and like curb stomping it and just like I've lost my mind. I'm going after this thing.
For Oz, the battle has not yet ended, and you're all kind of standing there, breathing heavily, dressing your wounds, watching him scream and just destroy this corpse.
No one's gonna say anything. I'm only gonna do it for like another 20 seconds before I just like stop and I'm like breathing heavy with this jaw, and I like throw it down. I'm like, We need to find somewhere safe. We can go back to one of those warehouses or something. We need to get out of here.
And just all right now.
I second that.
Vera, I did not hear you. It squeaked a bunch.
My sound doesn't like me today. Hang on.
I can hear you fine now.
Okay, I think it's just when I come in. But I was just saying to Oz, like, are you good? Fine?
Power walking, like faces like bloodied and blank and like on a mission. Something flipped in his brain, and he's like, "We need to go right now. We need to find somewhere safe. Why is everyone standing around?"
I'll follow
And
him.
as he says that, you can still hear, kind of attracted by the sound of that spell Shoji cast earlier, you can hear shrieks of ghouls kind of getting closer. And so yeah, everybody kind of hustles after Oz. Oz, are you leading them back the way you came or forward?
Back. We had found. You said that we had uncovered 3 warehouses. We knew that way was clear. Oz is like, we're going to go to those warehouses. That's a place that we can look over and also just rest because they were untouched before. So.
Okay. In that case, because you're going back the way you came, I'm going to go ahead and roll to see if you guys even need to try and avoid an encounter. And we'll call it 15 or higher. You guys need to avoid an encounter. That's an 11. Okay. You guys had kind of back the way you came. You backtracked to one of the warehouses. The door is fairly solidly blocked from the inside, but kind of that window that you guys used earlier to scout it out, you guys all managed to crawl in. And you are in this large warehouse, boxes and barrels stacked all over the floor, in places all the way to the ceiling, and there's just narrow paths in between all of these things. And as you guys all get in and just kind of settle down and listen, the ghoul shrieks kind of fade off in that direction, and after about 10 or 15 minutes, there's just silence. So you guys are hiding in a warehouse. Yeah, go ahead, Vera.
I just start to dig around and see what type of warehouse is this, what type of supplies, anything that could be healing, any rations, etc.
All right, give me an investigation check. Ozzy?
I'm doing the same thing. I'm running over and like jackhammering up boxes looking for like bandages and stuff.
Specifically bandages? Okay.
I am resting because I have 5 hit points.
In that case, Vera, go ahead and roll with advantage.
Oh, well, there was one.
Yep. Advantage is good. You find a whole bunch of food. There's a whole lot of magically preserved dry foodstuffs. It has not been rotted. It has not degraded in any way. All of this stuff seems perfectly fine. But you do not find any kind of packaging, healing materials, bandages, not a whole lot like that. You could tear up some of the sacks and it would ruin some of the foodstuffs, but you could, I guess, make very basic strips out of some of the canvas.
Question, can I use any of, I know I'm not skilled in medicine, but I've been working on it, but yeah. I do a lot of improv in this area. Is there anything of these materials that I could make like a poultice out of, as in foodstuffy sorts of things?
Wait, is your investigation really just a +2?
Yes, it is.
Oh, you're not proficient. Okay. With a 9, basically, the casters in each of the great cities are typically grabbed at birth, and not birth, but as soon as their talent begins to manifest, and taught only the spell create food and water or purify food and drink. And then that's all they do all day. And then magically preserve what it is they create. What you create with create food and water is not like it's not as bad as hardtack. It's not just hard wafers, but it's not great. So most with a 9, pretty much all you found in here is various grains and grain products. There we go.
Okay.
Short answer, no, you cannot find anything to make a poultice out of.
I'll grab like just a handful of food and just kind of like walk over with it, slump against the wall, shove just like more than a fistful into my mouth, and then take some of my cloak since I couldn't find anything and just like tear the bottom of my cloak and just start wrapping like the huge gash I have from the bite of these like ghouls and the gouges, and I'm just chewing with like a massive mouthful, and like crumbs are falling into my beard, and like
Nice.
lean against the wall and just getting to work.
All right. Shoji and Liliana, what are you guys doing?
I'm resting because I have 5 hit points, so I am not really feeling up to much at the moment.
Absolutely. Everybody can gain the benefits of a short rest here. You can do light activities if there's anything in particular you'd like to do.
All right, I will roll 3 hit dice.
All right. So 3 via your full health. Liliana, how many are you rolling?
I'm gonna roll 4 hit dice.
4. Okay. And remember, you get to add your con mod to each die you roll.
Mm-hmm.
2.
So that puts me at
Wow,
20,
that's just
40
Why
dice.
did I only have 3 hit dice? Did I not?
Yeah, it says that for me too.
Okay. So you guys should be at max hit dice.
Oh shoot! I rolled the wrong hit die. I will roll that again. Sorry.
Oh yeah, those were D10s.
Yeah, even better. Wow,
That is
even much better for me.
If you don't have the right number of hit dice, that's because I forgot to reset to basically give you guys a full rest after
Okay.
the Griffin adventure. So if you guys just want to roll whatever die you're supposed to, however many in the bar there,
Okay.
we'll just add that.
All right, I'm feeling better then. Good.
So Liliana, how many did you gain?
I ended up getting 26 back.
26 back. Okay, cool. Oz, how many did you get back?
30.
Nice.
21 plus 9. So
Nice. Okay. Shoji, are you spending hit dice?
Yes, I will spend 2 hit dice.
2? Okay. Vera, what are you doing?
I was going to ask if I meditate a little bit, but do it according to what the monks taught me, but then sneak in a little like quest to Silhaloon because I am shooketh about that whole experience.
Okay.
are the Vremens with us?
Yeah, they're in the warehouse with you guys. They are also patching up wounds, taking a rest, getting ready. They've opened a few boxes and have taken are also snacking.
Can I also meditate? But I'm still trying to figure out like things about who I was before all of this insanity happened.
Can I try to assist her in that?
You can't really assist somebody in trying to remember a previous life. Unless there's a specific ability that you think might help you do that.
Contacting Almanya on the other side, you know.
Well, I'm not exactly sure, and I suppose my character is not exactly sure how her newfound ability works exactly. She's not going to do it now because not smart. But yeah. But I thought maybe perhaps there might be some kind of special connection she could reach through beyond the grave. But yeah, I don't know.
Liliana, go ahead and give me a straight wisdom check.
Okay. So good at wisdom. Yeah, 11.
11. You know, I think that's the highest. I think that's the highest you've ever rolled.
For that, yeah.
So, you recall just a couple of things. You remember living under you have heard the term spoken since you came into this new body of the dragonborn hegemony. That term is not familiar to you because you lived under the dragonborn before the hegemony. Back when it was a time when it was a confederacy of various dragonborn tribes.
South.
And you remember that the enemies that you died against were reptilian. They were reptilian humanoid.
Dragonborn.
You are not sure what they were. They were humanoid and they were reptilian.
Awesome. Do I know? No, I guess I wouldn't know when the hegemony was created. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, no precise date pops into your mind, but you remember those little things. Nick, can you go ahead and mute your mic? I think there's some background noise coming across. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Is there anything else you guys would like to do before or during this long rest? Yeah, go ahead, Vera.
Should I roll wisdom?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a wisdom check. Before you do, so you are meditating on. Are you specifically meditating on the what you were told about kind of the monks and their philosophy, or are you specifically praying to Silhaloon?
I am trying to reconcile what I thought the monks said with what I just experienced with Silhaloon, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom check.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Yes, no whammies.
That is a dirty 20. Okay. Where do you see conflict between what the monks have told you that experience?
I guess from what Talia has been, I don't know how much she's actually told us about Silhaloon or how much we've absorbed, but this idea of the defending the defenseless, taking in the broken, etc. Whereas the monks were very much, this is not our fight. We're saving ourselves for some kind of greater fight. And this idea of hope, etc. Again, they were very put aside personal hopes and dreams, whereas Silhaloon seems very positive towards that. And it's just messing with Vera's mind a little bit. And she's not an instinctively hopeful person.
Okay. Yeah, so what you've heard of Silhaloon is largely all of Talia's conversations have been with Garrett. She hasn't really talked about it much with you guys, except a little bit with Vera, actually, but mostly voicing her confusion and doubt, and letting you know kind of what she's trying to work through. From what you've gathered from that, Yeah, there does seem to be a distinct separation between the monks of the Shadowed Mount and Silhaloon. The monks of the Shadowed Mount seem to be entirely focused on something after all of this. And Silhaloon, Silhaloon is focused on simply compassion for the broken, and very specifically finding peace here and now. Those are not opposed to one another. With a dirty 20, right? One does not contradict the other. And with enough focus, one could pursue both. So at the end of your meditation, you're a little comforted by that. And you know that the question just remains, do you have the focus and the dedication to pursue both? Or must you choose one over the other?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Oz, you have something else?
Sure. While I'm meditating, well, not meditating, Oz is doing anything but that. As I finish up my food and I kind of like lean up for my rest and like kind of head still on the wall, just kind of like look over at one of the guards, you know, the one that had looked at me, and I'll just say, "Hey."
Yeah, the conjurer, his name is Caius, looks over at you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's what the commandant ordered. Doing our duty.
Well, we almost lost one back there. I'll kind of like glance at, you know, our members who had fallen a couple times. I'll say, you do your job well. You make your band proud. Not all of you are useless.
Give
And
me
I'll kind
a
of like smile.
give me a charisma check.
You know I'm good at that. No, that's a natural 20.
That is a natural 20, -1, but it's a natural 20. He looks over at you and says, "Well, I'm glad you're on our side. I don't think the shield wall would hold very long against your kind of insanity."
Insanity is one of the only things that keeps us alive here. I wouldn't have made it this long without my mild-manneredness.
Yeah, I mean, we're all soldiers here. We're all a little bit insane. Nobody, no sane person comes to a place like this, eh?
The world's crazy. I did just want to say thank you, and will you be with us for the rest of the way?
Yeah, that is what the commandant ordered. Yeah, to help you with whatever your quest is.
Sure, I understand what your orders are. Are your men with us?
My men will follow their orders.
Understood. You're
There's a little bit of confusion on his face.
Sure, and I read that and like under my breath be like, fucking Bremans. And I'll say, well, thank you for holding your own. And I'll hold up my dagger and I'll say, do you have anything else I seem to have broken this on one of those bastards' face.
Yeah. We'll carry that natural 20, right, kind of through the interaction here. And he goes, yeah, hey, Elias. And one of the other demons kind of looks over. He says, give the crazy man your crossbow. He goes, unstraps crossbow. So you have a light crossbow on you.
I already have a hand crossbow. I'll just be like, thanks. I was looking for something to hit him with. I can use this. And these bad boys haven't ever done me any wrong anyway. I can trust that. You boys need your own stuff, so I'll look around.
You're looking for something specific?
Do you have a sharp and hard object that I can hit things with that will hurt them?
Nothing beside our short swords. I just rolled an investigation check for one of the soldiers, who says, actually, Convert, I found a few other things. Perhaps so around the corner over there, a couple of axes and some swords. So there are two war hammers and a longsword.
Okay. I will take one of each. Yeah. And I'll kind of like hold them and wield them and be like, this one's for the more delicate, and I'll just like slash into one of like the pieces of fruit or whatever's around. This one's for more persuasive measures with the warhammer.
All right, you have a long sword and a warhammer.
Nice, cool. I'll stand up and keep dusting myself off and say, "Well, we need to get moving. This won't be safe for long, especially with our scent in it." I'm not kind of like look around at the party.
The Freemans all start putting their packs on, loading their crossbows, getting those to the side, just kind of rolling their shoulders, getting ready to go.
Did I overhear that conversation?
Oh yeah, you guys. I assume you guys are all kind of packed into one corner of the warehouse. You are still way behind enemy lines, so nobody's really straying far from the group. Even with
napping in a hammock.
As we all gathered together, I'll just take out one of my 2 extra daggers and just hold it up to Oz and say, for the more delicate and up close and personal work.
Oh, well, you saw how personal I like to get, and I kind of like look at the blood all over me, and I'll say, this is as delicate as someone of my sensibilities gets.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you find it useful, I've got it.
Thank you, Ma. Maybe you can use it to continue dicing the tomatoes for a hearty stew tonight.
I'll tuck my daggers away.
Okay, yeah. I'm like looking out. I'm gonna kind of peer out the door. Do I see any danger coming? Is there anything around? You know, any screaming ghouls running by?
Give me a perception check. In the meantime, Vera, something that I keep forgetting. A hand crossbow has the loading property, which means that it requires one attack to reload. So if you want to fire it multiple times in a single combat, it will take a full action for you to reload it.
Okay.
That's a 17, and also to say I will stow my hammer, and I will be holding my longsword.
Okay, you've got the longsword out. All right. The Vremans you do not see any apparent threats. And I'll let you carry that perception check kind of through the avoid encounter check as we now go out into the streets.
Perfect.
And the Freemans are kind of stacked up on you guys. The rest of you, where do you guys want to be in the marching
Dead
order?
middle.
Dead middle. You got it.
I can be in the front and keep doing perception checks if we need to.
So Oz has got the perception covered for this one. Oz has now taken the lead. He's not as stealthy as you are, and in this case, you guys don't avoid situations. Like, you guys don't avoid combat encounters as much as Oz sees a ghoul, and instead of coming back to the party and saying, hey guys, like, let's take a turn over here to avoid any possible noise, he just like kicks in the door and skewers the thing before it can make any noise, and then you guys just continue on.
And then I like hang the open jaw on the doorknob and just like keep slamming the door on it. And then I say, all right, let's go.
You guys follow. He leaves little trails behind him. You guys follow like the jawbone hanging on the door, the ghoul skull with like kind of the black blood pooling down below it. You just kind of follow those signs. The Vremans, if you want to be in front of the Vremans to then navigate as well, if you'd like. You want to try navigation?
Forget, what type of check is that?
So navigation, I've been doing a straight intelligence.
Okay.
Although Talia, I'm sorry, let me go ahead and roll some hit dice for Talia real quick. She's not doing great. Cool. 25 hit points. Sure. Let's roll 2d6. That's not amazing. 10.
Do any of the Vremians help her? You know, as she's like an aide to the commandant, and you know, I don't want to role play for her, but she's a lot more integrated with them.
That is actually a great point. This is a forward patrol, so absolutely they would be able to give her advantage. They know the city all right. So I'll go ahead and roll a straight intelligence check for Talia. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's a 17 plus 21. Okay, cool. So you guys managed to avoid a couple more of those heavily armored undead that I think on the Griffin quest grabbed Liliana in the face and just reduced her max hit points and sucked her life force, and were generally unpleasant. So you managed to avoid a couple of those. For the next check, Oz, you're welcome to continue the perception unless you'd like to turn it over to Vera.
Oz is on a mission. We can do it together if you want, but Oz is in a I'm hurting things mode. You can tell the switch wasn't turned off but dimmed, but like you can tell that there's a new when he's wearing his enemy's blood, he's got a new mindset.
And there is a light in his eyes.
Can I give him advantage?
Yeah, I guess if the Vremans can give. What I'll say is, Vera, your idea of scouting ahead to find things and then coming back and avoiding them is pretty opposite to Oz's current trajectory, I'll say. So I'm going to say that Oz is going to be rolling alone.
I'm fine to take the classic what Ma's been doing and tugging on my hey sonny boy tug on my cloak if we need to say that, because he will respond to Ma, but like you could tell he's got that whatever you want to say. But
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just let him do his thing, but I just remembered that I have second story work, so can I scramble up to a second roof and just have another eye out from up above?
Yeah, I'll let you. I'll give you. That'll give him advantage because at least right now it's working together, so he knows where he's going to find something to then stomp it to. Yeah. So yeah, that'll work. Go ahead, Oz.
Okay, so are we both rolling or what's happening?
You're rolling with advantage.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'll roll with advantage next time. That's a 17 again.
That's all right. Either of those beat it. Cool. You guys continue avoiding the enemies. This time, you managed to avoid a couple of ghouls that look like they're dressed in former Vreeman lorica that has been kind of twisted and modified somewhat. Which brings us to our third and final check. I'm also there is a chance that you will run into the Hemotarch Destin as you go through this. So I'm just rolling for that here. So final check. Oz with advantage. Talia with advantage.
All right.
Cool.
That's not letting me do it. Hold on. All right. Those are both 13.
Both 13. That beats it. It's a clear day, so the DC for kind of spotting enemies before you run into them is just a flat 12. Alrighty then. Let me pull up my maps here. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Okay. You guys leave the lower city, kind of near where the water has risen up and flooded most of it. You go up this ramp onto a tall acropolis. And from up here, you guys can kind of turn and see about half of the city. The rest of the acropolis kind of hides the upper city from your sight. You're just out of sight of the giant pyramid. But you can see all of the town that the water has totally swamped and frozen over, and then the snow has piled on top of. You can see kind of vague shapes and patterns of streets as lumps underneath the snow. You can see the smaller acropolis on the other side where the Legion camp is. You can see the Charon out in the harbor. Well, way outside the harbor. And as you guys turn back, as you look back into the palace district here, wildly different from the rest of the. Here, let me go ahead and share this thing again. Share sheet. So well, I guess it's mostly blocked out here, but the streets are way more spaced out. They are wider here. You can see houses that actually have large expanses of land, around them, snow-covered trees. Kind of this whole acropolis is ringed in small groves of trees. You can also from here see just kind of the very top of the palace. And you can see that the air in that region is kind of shimmering this scarlet color. You can see every once in a while. It's almost like heat shimmers, but with kind of a red tint to it. Oz, you have seen this before. Before Westishire fell, it seemed like as you were walking, just kind of out of the corner of your eye, you might see kind of this little shimmering of red, but when you turned and looked, it was gone. And that was just kind of a constant effect for a week or two before the city actually fell. You can now see it dead on, just kind of rising into the air from over where the palace is.
You'll see Oz, he gets, you can just see that he's like got like energy. He's like twirling his sword and like gripping it hard and just kind of like his face hardens and he's just kind of like staring at it. And he's just like, you can just see he's bracing for something.
You feel a hand on your arm, and Caius looks at you and says, "Look, crazy man, I know that you're getting into this, but we're not going there, are we?"
You smell that? Smells like a fight. And like my face with a really hard expression has just this super broad smile on it. And like it's unnerving a little bit. It's like, yeah, we're going there.
What I smell is blood and the ruins of a city that once had many thousands of people in it.
So you don't want to stand up and fight for them?
If you're going there, we will likely not return.
Your commandant sent me here. We're here to protect your men.
I didn't say I wouldn't come with you. I said if there's another way to accomplish what you wish to accomplish, you should do that instead.
Can I hop down from the roof where I am? Because I've been watching them and just kind of tug Oz on the elbow and say, "We're not going to the palace. We're going to the tower. Am I correct?"
Yeah, but we get there how we get there. We need to keep mapping this area. One thing, Josh, how well have we mapped the question mark on the map?
Oh, you guys rolled absurdly well as you passed through that. It's pretty well mapped. Okay, I don't see my map on Fantasy Grounds. Here we go. Unabridged map. That area looks mostly like low middle class neighborhoods, streets, houses, shops here and there. Nothing of particular interest.
Sure, and I've been making notes of that as we're going too, for the sake of saying it.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll look to Ma and I'll say, well, we're not going to climb the wall. We have to go up the north ramp. The best way to get to this place.
But if
Yeah, you guys are at the top of that north ramp.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I actually had you guys wrong. You can see all of the lower city, including the pyramid. So yeah, you guys are at the top of that north ramp. The wizard tower is somewhere in the estates nearby, and then the palace is a little bit kind of off in a different direction.
Well, we're not going right at the palace. We're going towards the tower, which is on the outside.
good. As I say, we stick to the plan, which was the tower was what you were interested in, not this mysterious magical haze over the palace. Frankly, I'm not interested in putting myself in unnecessary danger.
I'll kind of like, my eyes will kind of glance at the palace and then towards where the tower is and go, yeah, who would want to do that?
Certain freak me out.
I can't tell if he's a masochist or not. So interesting.
So I'm going to just independently, now we're in the front, just start to swerve towards the tower direction.
Yeah, I'll be like,
I'm a
follow
follower.
your lead, Ma.
Thank you, dearie.
You guys managed between the Conritter and you to shake Oz a little bit out of just this deadly focus that he's got, and redirect him a little bit. He's still hyper focused and clearly having a good day. In a very morbid, I guess, sort of way. You guys manage to navigate your ways through the streets. You avoid various ghouls and the occasional undead. Until you come to an estate that is surrounded by a tall 15-foot hedge that is completely plastered and covered with snow, but again, you can see kind of trickles of water running down as the snow starts to melt. You're in the beginning of spring here. And you get to you find a gap in the hedges where a path kind of runs from the street in. And you see in this yard, along the path, there are these 6 pedestals, 3 on each side of the path. And all of them, whatever statue was once on there, is now smashed into chunks and dust, and is just kind of piled up, and you can see the snow has crusted on it a little bit. The grounds themselves are covered in just these tall, gnarled, bent, twisted, blackened trees that just look like they grew wrong and have been corrupted somehow. And there is a street sign there with the image of just kind of this big stylized eye, like almost like an Egyptian ankh. Just kind of that big stylized eye. And the sign says in common, "Behold the mighty tower of Ruphus Kingrave. Find within hidden knowledge, magical artifacts and potions for your every desire, and things too wondrous and terrible to speak of. But beware, stay on the path or you risk your very soul."
Is it all spelled correctly?
It is also. It is spelled correctly. It is carved into the wood in an elegant and flowing hand. Just kind of that. It's not cursive, but it's that stylized writing that is complex enough that you kind of have to look at it carefully to see what it's actually saying. You can't. It's not one of those things where you can just glance at it.
It's like Instagram girl fake calligraphy, basically.
Sure, I have zero experience with what you described, so I don't know, but sure.
I'll look at the sign and look back at everyone and go, well, someone has a high opinion of themselves.
And it's painted in this is carved into the wood of the sign and then painted in with gold, so some kind of like gold lacquer or paint in there. It is weather worn. You can see the wood has cracked in places. And yeah, it looks like a nice sign that has been left to the elements for about a year.
Talia would probably roll a history check to see if she knows that name.
She doesn't need to do a history check to know the name. Because I think I'm pretty sure that Kelfir mentioned it back in the episode when he actually left. I don't remember, but yeah, you are confident that this is the wizard tower that you're looking for. They're extremely rare. I also forgot to describe the tower itself. Oops. In the center, like this path leads to there's kind of a quarter wall of brick that still stands about 12 feet tall. And then just in a 30-foot radius around it, there's just rubble. There was a building here at one point, and it just got pulverized. Rubble is scattered all over the place. You can see kind of lumps underneath the snow. Half the door is still there, and the other part seems to have just been blasted away. Some kind of immense violence was visited upon this site.
I'll kind of look at the rest of the group and have that same smile and say, well, if we're just risking our souls, then nothing to lose, right? Caius. And I looked at Caius and Caius should set a perimeter and we can all look at this a little bit more closely. This is what we're here for.
Talia decided to investigate the sign real quick to see if there was anything magical about it. Rolled a nat 20 on her Arcana check. She relates to you that there is absolutely nothing magical about this sign whatsoever.
Sounds about right.
Caius nods at you and posts 2 of the guards right at the entrance to the hedge here. They're inside the grounds, but they will be able to give you guys first warning of anything coming through the actual entrance here.
Does anybody here know detect magic? Because I think that would be a good idea if we're looking through the wizard's hour.
I detect magic all the time.
I don't have anything.
Talia does have detect magic. Just so you know, she's got 1 first level slot and 2 third level slots, and she's the only healer that you've got.
Did she get any back from that rest? She got arcane recovery.
You could have done arcane recovery. She's level 5. It's half rounded up for this, so she can gain 3 slots back. So we'll take an extra. No, we'll take 3 firsts because healing word. Thank you.
We'll take it.
That was a great thing to remind me of. Thank you so much. All right. So she's still got all of her third, which is 2, and 4 first level spells. That's great. So yeah, if you guys want her to, she can use a first level slot to detect magic.
Hey, nerd, can you look around for us?
Vera, she looks at you.
I think perhaps before we ask Talia to extend her energy, I can do a more mundane search. Can I just snoop around a little bit for like traps? I am extremely on edge. I don't like magic that much. So
I'll just sheathe my sword and then get out my crossbow with the broadhead and just have that ready.
Thank you.
All right. Are you? Yeah. Oh, you've got a readied crossbow. What trigger would set that off? I assume seeing a ghoul.
We'll say the Vremens. Obviously seeing a ghoul. I react to that, but like if the Vremens say anything, I would be ready to like say that way. I'll run. We'll say for the sake of it, run my movement, fire it. Something jumps out of the rubble at her. I'm on sentry mode.
Okay. Are you going to fire at anything that could be a threat, or anything that is a clear and present danger?
Oz trusts Ma. He's gonna cover her. So he's not, anything that approaches her aggressively, he's gonna fire at.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah,
that
I'll
will
have to knife out because I'm nervous.
Okay. Yeah. So are you going down the path to investigate? Are you investigating the pedestals? What are you specifically investigating, looking for traps and things?
I'm going to go down the path.
You're gonna look down the path. Okay. Go ahead and give me that investigation check then.
Fabulous. Not fabulous. 11.
Okay. You scoot down the path, kind of brushing aside the snow gently from the pathway itself, making sure that there's nothing you guys are going to step on, and you do not find any traps. Nor does there appear to be anything that you can see that might be threatening to you.
Can I backtrack a little bit and look at and try and, I guess, reconstruct the statues in my head? As in, if there was a face on them, can I find that?
Yeah, give me a straight intelligence check.
Because I'm super smart.
Are you actually handling the stone, or are you just kind of looking at it and trying to figure out how it pieced together?
Yeah, or at least what it was of, based on the...
It's a lot of the pieces are covered in snow, so unless you want to kind of brush the snow off and actually handle the material, you're rolling at disadvantage.
I'll snoop around very carefully again in case anything is triggering something.
So you're brushing the snow off pieces. Okay, yeah, give me an intelligence check.
Okay. Oh, dirty 20.
20. Okay. Yeah, you approach each one of them as you reach over to the first one, and kind of pick up a chunk, and kind of dust it off. you hear a noise. You hear something going, and that kind of runs out, and you all freeze and turn around. Oz is like pointing his crossbow at like something and everything around you guys, and you don't actually see anything. And the noise stops. You finish kind of dusting off the statue and kind of piecing some things together again, being wary. Nothing actually seems to appear or do anything. Each of these statues was once some sort of gargoyle. All of them have kind of ribbed wings and just these grotesque faces with their tongues hanging out, just these big, nasty grins, crazy eyes. I mean, these are your quintessential like, Gothic gargoyles.
Can I walk up and kick at one of them like in the chest? Is it hollow?
So none of them really have a chest to speak of. Again, these have all just been shattered into pieces. But yeah, if you just want to like reach up and kick one of the pedestals, you do. You kick one of the pedestals and you hear, and it scares the shit out of you guys. A couple of the Freemans are going, what the fuck is happening? And like they've all got crossbows out and looking around, and everybody is thoroughly spooked. And nothing actually jumps out or happens.
You haven't seen this parlor trick before? I'm just gonna kick it again.
You kick it again, nothing happens.
I kick it harder.
You kick it. Give me an attack roll. Just give me a hard attack.
Oh.
Well, now I just look like a big dumb idiot. So, well, unless I have proficiency, then that'd be 15. But
yeah, you're not proficient in unarmed. So you take your foot and you just jam it into the pedestal, and it hurts. That is solid stone. And so you're just like, you haven't seen this parlor trick before? Good. Good.
Have I, as like,
always gets a laugh.
Yeah. Heard of tales of enchanted gargoyles and that sort of thing?
Have you ever heard of tales of enchanted gargoyles? I mean, yeah, give me a history check.
Okay. Hang on a sec.
I really want to divide out the history checks in 5th edition into like actual history, folklore, and then like ancient history.
Nope.
Total of 4. Yes, in fact, you have told many such stories to your children. They're fantastic for scaring the crap out of them. And just in general, enchanted gargoyles and moving statues, right? These things that are you think are stationary and you trust that it's a rock and it's not, and it's trying to, right? These make fantastic material for horror stories, especially for children.
I love it.
If you don't do your chores, a gargoyle's gonna watch you in the night, kids.
Can I walk up to Vera and say, okay, so I have to ask, what happened to this city?
I'm not entirely certain. Apparently, there was some politics involved. The Riemann Empire was invading, and then the Dragonborn were there, and a evil blood goddess arose, and this whole city was obliterated.
Huh.
Did I hear that?
Oh yeah, you guys are all right there.
I'm just gonna look back over my shoulder and say the Vreemans happened.
Great. It was just very whole when I last remember it. So
Yes.
it's not quite there anymore.
Can you recall a time?
When I last, like when I was around last? Oh God.
Yeah, like,
How well do you know history?
How well do I know history?
You guys
I
know
don't know, but if you ask me about a very specific thing, I'll let you roll a history check.
the last
Okay.
time I was here, this dragonborn hegemony wasn't here. Do you know when it was started?
Do I know when it was started?
Give me a history check. This is going to be a DC 22.
Is there no knowledge of
Ooh.
when the hegemony was started in the normal world? There isn't like a date?
There is, but it's a long time ago. What was the total there? Oh, there it is.
Right. 14. Sorry.
14 total. Okay. You're not sure. A while back. I don't know when the hit started.
All right. Well, it's something I can look into later. That's very
Yeah,
nice.
I don't know how displaced in time I am. Being dead lasted about a split second, and then I showed up here. So it's a little unnerving that everything is changed so much. I think the world is shittier now than it was before, and that's saying something. I don't know what the fuck happened in between, but I'm pretty sure that it was not this bad when I was around. And I mean that's pretty impressive because I was in a really nasty war that probably shouldn't have existed if I remember correctly. I don't even know what it was about. I can't even remember. I don't know.
Well, one thing's for sure, it can always get worse.
Sorry. Very good.
Slow clap.
Yeah, slow clap for.
She said it. She said the thing.
The title. She said the title, guys.
It comes up at least like once an episode where it's like, man, things really can get worse. I know, right? All right, so
Yeah.
you guys are all strung out along
It's
this.
such an apt title, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that realizes my entire family, everybody I knew, everything I knew before this, all of the homes, the entire city, most likely, probably doesn't exist anymore. Huh. Interesting. Oh, well, I was just curious.
Well, we all outlive people, Liliana. You might have a more
But I think losing hundreds of thousands of years is a little different than losing the people that you know.
But
Don't you
isn't that
agree?
What was that, Vera?
isn't that what's happened? You've lost the people you know.
The people, the place, the world, it seems.
It's not like any of that was yours in the
world-
first place.
But it was mine because I knew it. I don't know it anymore. Oh well. Not much to look back on, I suppose.
Well, we've got plenty of adventuring for you to learn this world now.
That is the truth.
Perhaps starting again.
Perhaps if we get that far.
Well, I'd like
Ma,
to start.
have you found anything?
Nothing dangerous as far as I can determine, but I'd like to get closer.
Then get closer. Do you want me to come with you? Do you want backup or what?
Do what you've done. My back, but perhaps keep a little bit of distance. I will start heading towards the ruins along the path again and keep investigating.
I'll follow behind like 30 feet, like just in the range of my bow.
Okay, 30 feet. Vera, you approach kind of the broken door here. and you look inside. All of the rubble appears to be stone and like filling for stone walls. But you know how like a stone wall, right? You basically create the framework out of stone and then you fill it full of stuff. That's pretty much all you see in there. You don't see furniture, you don't see equipment, right? Even broken bits and pieces. So either everything is kind of whatever was in the tower is buried at the bottom, or whatever was on the top has been thoroughly scavenged already. Although you don't see any markings in the snow, no other footprints other than what you guys have disturbed here today.
Can I start to dig around a little bit? Like, obviously not dig, but move things around a bit more, under things?
Yeah. You taking a look at kind of the wall that's still standing, the remaining bits and pieces of door, or kind of really just getting your hands into the rubble itself?
Yeah, I would go into the rubble, but carefully again. I'm expecting any second to be blasted with a fireball.
Yep. Give me an investigation check.
Not great. 12. Wait, was that not in the thing?
That was not in the tray, so it does not count.
Okay, hang on a second. Better. 17.
17. Okay. You guys see Vera walk up to the door, kind of take a look at it, walk past it into the rubble, and just kind of start digging around in the stuff. While she's doing that, what are the rest of you doing?
Keeping watch, scanning with my crossbow, looking for the rubble, looking directly at the rubble if anything's moving, anything hopping over the rubble. So,
Liliana, show.
I'm probably gonna go and look at the rubble too, see if I can see anything, scour for anything interesting.
Okay, Shoji.
I'll be trying to go closer to like the tower itself and the rubble and go through the rubble too, but I'd specifically be trying to sense any kind of magical presence.
Gotcha. Okay. Liliana, you can give me an investigation check, and Shoji, you can give me an arcana check. Oz, give me a perception check. The Vremans will also attempt perception checks.
That's a 13.
13 investigation.
16 perception.
5 arcana. Okay. You guys find a whole lot of icy, snow-covered, shattered stone.
My favorite.
There's
That's
really
fine.
like there's not even don't even see like wooden timbers in here. For a collapsed building, of which you guys have seen a great many as you traveled through Worcestershire, which you guys was hit by earthquakes kind of before it even fell, right? A third of the buildings here are almost completely destroyed. You know what a raised building looks like. This looks oddly devoid of anything that should have been inside the building. Right? There's no wood. There's no broken furniture. There are no clothes anywhere. And you guys dig, a good foot and a half, 2 feet down, just kind of pushing the rubble aside, and you don't find anything in there. Oz, as you are watching from 30 feet back, the third and final set of broken gargoyles sits between you and Vera. It's about 10 feet away from kind of the door, so about 15 feet away from Vera because she's inside kind of digging around. It's about 20 feet away from where you are. You see the gargoyle on the left. This one seems the least destroyed. It's just it's not dust and rubble. it's these big chunks that have just been shattered and fallen to the side. You can see that those slowly start to gather back to the pedestal. And slowly, piece by piece, they creep up the pedestal into place. And this large gargoyle figure starts to form.
I'm going to put away my crossbow, take out my warhammer, and say, ladies, we've got some company. And I'm going to start kind of like half jogging towards this thing.
Okay. You start half jogging towards the thing. You three all hear him say that. And as you kind of turn and look, this gargoyle statue is slowly, piece by piece, coming back together.
Oh, that doesn't look good. That looks dangerous.
Can I attack it?
So Shoji, you want to attack it. Vera, what do you want to do?
Hide. And also be telling myself, like, I made this up to scare my boys.
Who didn't eat their vegetables? Who didn't do it?
Turns out folklore is based on something real. Shoji, what do you want to try to attack it with?
I'll cast. Ooh, I'd have to get close to it. I'll just do chill touch again, so it's ranged. Just cantrip. See what happens.
Touch. And then Vera, give me a stealth check. Shoji, give me an attack roll with chill touch. Liliana, how are you reacting to this?
I'm gonna step. Oh no! I'm gonna step back a little bit, kind of closer to the soldiers, because I don't want to be anywhere near when something decides to jump out at us.
Okay, so you would have to go past the gargoyle to get to the soldiers.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So
Yeah. Then I'll
in the bubble, and then 10 feet up the path is this gargoyle, and then about 20 feet away is Oz and the soldiers.
Okay, I'm gonna just step away from it then a few paces.
Okay, so you're a good 20 feet away from it now. I need you.
Okay.
Okay. Oz, you see Shoji kind of holding up her hand and casting a spell at the thing. Are you going full combat, or are you going to try and stop her? You are muted, but you're shaking your head.
I just muted myself. I wouldn't have any reason to stop her, but I'm coming in. Like, I'm literally, whatever she does afterwards, I'm hitting. So I wouldn't stop her. I wouldn't say, don't hit that thing.
You've got it. All right, Shoji. That was a natural 1.
Yes, it was.
Oh.
You read, Oz. Okay,
Sorry, I just closed the tab. Cause Fear is level 1. As well as if she wanted to hit both of those creatures, it had to be upcasted to level 2. I just closed the tab. You asked earlier, Cause Fear.
Oh.
Well, it doesn't really matter because it was a ghoul and a ghoul steed. And the ghoul, the Vremens could have just handled, and the ghoul steed.
Perfect. Just because you mentioned it. That's all. Sorry, I'm off.
Although because of that, we're going to call that
I got a
slot.
Can I ask a
second level?
So Shoji, you have now used 1 first level spell and 2 second level spells.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, Vera?
My quick question was, sorry, this might be backtracing a little bit too much. Before I hid, could I have looked at it, and does it look like it's doing anything hostile yet?
Okay, for what I don't know what's going to happen, right? Okay, calling this a surprise round does not mean that you're in combat, but for the surprise round, as it were, You will either need to assess whether it's being hostile or hide.
Okay. I'm actually gonna assess then because I don't want to attack it unless it is gonna attack us.
Okay. Yeah. Give me then an insight check.
She also has a bonus action hide if she needs to because she's a rogue.
Oh, that's true. You can do both.
Sorry.
An
Thank you.
excellent point. You hide with that 17, and you assess its threat level.
Okay, here we go.
I'd also, after I try to cast, I'd like to run away.
25.
25. Good grief. At the moment, it's not doing anything other than the pieces are coming back together. Shoji, you reach out to cast the spell. I don't know what the components are, but I'm going to say you kind of make some hand gestures and mutter the words, and this ghostly hand starts to form and then fizzles out as you feel like a pop in your brain. Like, I don't know, like somebody took like a tendon in your leg. If somebody just kind of hung a finger on it and pulled it a little bit and then just let go, and it just kind of like popped back into place, but kind of in your brain, and you can feel a kind of spreading warmth a little bit, and you kind of shake your head, and a little bit of blood just kind of comes out of your nose a little bit, and you kind of wipe it away. Your attack roll and spell save DC are reduced by 1.
Ah.
This is the corollary to rolling a natural 1 with a weapon, where the damage dice is reduced by 1 level.
But it's her brain. Oh no.
It restores on a long rest. It's fine.
Okay. No permanent damage. That's nice.
No attack happens upon the creature. Oz, you kind of get up to it right as it has formed itself completely back together, and you can see kind of all of the cracks seal in, and you are now staring at this fully formed gargoyle statue. And you kind of jog up to it. You can get to it, and if you would like, you can make an attack, or you can wait.
Does Oz need? No. Oz has been needing to hit something. I'm gonna turn this thing into gravel. Sorry. Yeah, I'll throw both of my attacks at it. So I will. Here is 1, and here is 2. That's fucking hell. Damn. That's a 23 and a natural 1.
Ooh, what is this with your longsword? Oh, with the warhammer.
Warhammer.
So the warhammer's damage die is now reduced by 1 level.
Okay, the first attack was fine though. So the first attack was 9 damage, and then that's it.
Alrighty. Let me find gargoyles. Here we go. Okay, yeah, the 23 absolutely 9 points of damage. Okay, good. Halved to 4. Okay, you run up, take the warhammer.
A hammer halves it. It gets halved by a hammer.
Yep.
Yep.
Your hammer slams into it. There is a weapon tag that, for money, you could add to it. I think that causes it to be considered a siege weapon. But at the moment, your hammer is not considered a siege weapon. You slam into it, and kind of a crack runs through part of your hammer head, and a chunk flies off. And you pull it back and slam into the gargoyle again, and you can see bits and pieces and chunks of stone go flying off.
Fucking military grade.
It starts as you start swinging. It goes. You approach the top. Now I need everybody to roll initiative. Wait, hang on. We're gonna. Yes. Good. Initiative. He sees. Please give me a gargoyle. Yes, good. I'm actually going to use our initiative tracker here. We'll put a gargoyle in. He's got rolled crappy on initiative. Lovely. Okay. Looks like all of. Oh, I haven't rolled for Talia yet. Oops. That would be why she goes last. Talia. Where is initiative? Oh, there it is. Okay. Natural 20. A total of 22. Cool. Talia's going to go first. Go away. Oh, her character sheet's right here. Yeah, she'll chuck a firebolt at it. So
Such a good boy.
Firebolt. 20 is definitely going to hit. Well, she's at 2d10 now, right?
Yes.
10 and a 1. So 11 points of damage. Is it resistant?
She also has a 16 as a divination roll today.
Yeah, I've got that here.
Okay.
Cool. So that's her. Oz, you're up. You're standing right in front of it.
Is this thing still talking?
No, it started to talk and then it stopped and started attacking you when you hit it.
I clicked through the NPC dialogue too fast. Hit enter too many times. Shoot, should I have seen that? Damn it. All right, I'm gonna hit it 2 more times with my really shitty military grade hammer.
Yeah.
All right, we have 19, natural 20.
Oh, baby. Okay.
Okay, so the first one's a D6. That's 9 points of damage.
Okay.
And then it's 6 plus it's 11. So 20 points of damage total.
Yep, straight 20 points of damage, halved to 10. All right, you take 2 more big chunks out of this thing, and it is pretty damaged. All right, Vera, you're up.
I am going to do 2 things. First thing, I'll take one of my daggers and throw it at him.
Okay.
I'm 50 feet away, right?
You are. I said he's 10 feet away from the door. You were another 5 or 10. Yeah, you're about 20 feet away.
Okay, I'm in range then. So I'll whip a dagger at him.
Dagger attack with advantage because you are hidden.
Yes, and then I will run and hit it with my knuckles.
Okay, go for it.
Trying to flank with Oz if possible, but first is just a plain old dagger. And this is gonna be +7. Sorry, I can't figure out how to do that. But yeah, I assume that'll hit.
25 hits.
So that's just a D4 +4. Oh wait, I didn't use advantage. So here's the other roll for hitting. I hit it anyway. So my sneak attack is gonna do this.
Yeah, if you want to use sneak attack, you can go for it.
Okay, so it's gonna be 2d6 plus 1d4 plus 4. Here's the 2d6
8
plus 1d4 plus 4.
Oh, geez. So 16 points of damage, halved to 8.
And then I'm going to run up and punch it.
Yep. Give me that attack roll.
Can I get around it so I'm flanking with Oz, or no?
Yeah, because you've got 25 feet of movement. So yeah, you would make it around to flank with Oz.
Okay.
So with advantage.
Do lots.
Gonna go with the yep. So roll a D. You're at a D4.
Yeah.
D4 plus 4.
D4 plus 4.
6 halved to 3. Okay. Liliana, you're up.
Okay,
So
what do I see?
You saw this gargoyle formed together, started to speak to Oz, and then Oz just wailed on it 4 times with his hammer. Bits and pieces of hammer and gargoyle are flying off. You saw a dagger fly out of nowhere, kind of take a chunk out of the stone and then fall to the ground, and then Vera ran out and socked it with her fist.
Can I cast Acid Splash?
Sure.
Don't
Awesome.
hit me.
Well, not you.
But you've hit me before.
Is that a save? Is that a save or an attack roll on your part?
It's a dex save on your part.
Dex save. Let me pull up the whatever. Dexterity. Cool. Big surprise. Creatures made of stone are not good at dexterity saves. And it rolled an 8.
Great. It is going to take 3 points of acid damage.
Of acid damage. Okay, it takes that. Shoji, you're up.
I'm gonna cast Chill Touch and
Okay.
keep my distance without casting Shatter and making all these enemies come down on us.
Go ahead and roll that attack. And remember, this is a -1. That's yeah, still gonna hit.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
Roll damage on that.
Yay. Okay. Damage. All right. Two.
2 points of necrotic damage. All right. This thing has now been smashed with hammers, hit with fists and blades, splashed with acid, splashed with fire. It stops saying what it was saying, and instead says, "I warn you, manners will get you further," and is going to take its attacks against Oz, who has currently smashed it a bunch. 2 attacks, 1 bite, 1 claw. They are identical attacks. Cool. That's a 12 and a 5. So neither of those is going to hit. It's at this point it's almost completely destroyed again. So it makes this swipe and tries to bite at you, and you effortlessly get out of the way. So top of the round. You guys tell me what you think Talia would do.
Panic. First of all.
Having witnessed and heard all of this.
She actually, I would argue, might not try and hit it. Because I would say she wants more information out of it. This might be Vera talking, but she might want information out of it, and killing it when it can speak. I don't know.
Okay. That is all I need. That was my assessment as well, but I was going to take confirmation from the group. So Talia is not going to attack it. Instead, she's going to say, "No, wait, guys, stop!" And that will be her turn. Oz.
Okay. I'm going to take my warhammer. Well, I'm going to shout at it. I'm going to say, "Yeah, manners, chew your food." I'm going to shove my warhammer in its mouth. I'm going to bring its neck down to the ground, so use my first attack to grapple it and pin its head to the ground. You want me to try and do that?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead and make an unarmed attack roll.
9.
Cool. You shove the hammer in its mouth, and it. We're gonna do that in. No. You shove the hammer in its mouth, and it rips the hammer out of your hand, throws it on the ground next to you, and you've got another attack.
I'm just gonna say chew, and I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm just gonna try and grab its head and try to force it into the ground, into the gravel. I'm just gonna do the same thing again.
Yeah, give me an athletics check.
As it is made me look like a dummy. 15.
15? Okay, you reach up and kind of grab its head and realize that this thing is made of solid stone. And you heave down, and it's not unlike trying to heave down on a statue that is rooted in place, and it resists you.
But what if I'm angry?
Then it you
That's
get
my
angry.
turn.
Vera, what are you doing?
I'm gonna do something stupid.
I love it.
Can I go back around and sort of hide slightly behind Oz, because I'm using him as a human shield, which Vera is tending to do in these situations. And I'm gonna reach out my head though, and like a little hand, and say, "I'm so sorry for my colleague. Can we talk? I apologize deeply."
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Okay, hang on.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Okay, it wasn't good.
9. Cool. You do that. When it comes to his turn, and based on what happens next, we'll see the gargoyle's reaction. Liliana, you're up.
The real question is, do I care about what Talia thinks, or do I not care about what Talia thinks?
For it.
I feel like it could go either way.
Roll
You
for it.
want to roll
Yeah,
for it?
can I roll for it?
So before you roll, you tell me what's the chance that you're going to care in this moment about what Talia thinks?
It's kind of a 50-50.
50-50? All right. So 1 through 50. Give me a, well, actually, we can just do a D20 because it's half and half. Give me a D20 roll. We'll call 1 through 10. You do what Talia wants, and 11 through 20 you don't.
Sounds good. 8. I stopped fighting.
Okay. You
For the
stop
first time in my goddamn life.
that you know of.
Mm-hmm. I like look at Talia and she looks really frantic, and I'm looking at this gargoyle that's clearly been talking, and I'm like, fine. Yeah,
All right.
character growth.
All right. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Shoji, you're up.
Okay. Shoji's in a similar state of mind. Can I roll for it too?
Sure. What's same chance, 50-50, or you think you more or less likely to do what Talia wants you to do?
Less likely to do what Talia wants. So maybe like 60-40, 70-30.
In that case, give me a D100. 1 through 40, you do what she wants you to do. 41 through 100, you attack the gargoyle. So just roll a D10.
Ooh. Okay.
Actually, yeah, we can just do it. That way, it's the same chance. D10. 2. Okay. You also resist the murderous impulse to reduce this statue to dust.
Weakness.
Are you going to do anything else? Are you going to do anything else with your turn?
What was that?
You haven't actually done anything yet except not done something.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Not doing
Am I?
something, doing something. In this case, it's not.
Am I close enough for it to attack?
No, you're about 15 to 20 feet away from it.
Okay, I'm gonna stay there.
Okay, so you stay there. It's the gargoyle's turn. It looks down, Vera, at you, and kind of hunches down on its pedestal. I don't believe you. And it's going to make a bite and two attacks against you, bite and a claw.
But I was behind.
Oh,
I'm also hanging from its neck.
So last round, it rolled an 8 and a 1. This round, it rolled a 7 and a 1. Plus, whatever, but it really doesn't matter. So sure, Oz, who's got his hands kind of wrapped, like grabbed on its ears, trying to restrain it, kind of gets in the way, and it's trying to attack you around him. And Oz, you get buffeted from both sides as its arms slam into you, but the claws do not reach. Vera, top of the round, Talia is going to go ahead and shout, look, we didn't know. We thought you were going to attack us. We're sorry. So if the next person to attempt a persuasion check, Talia is going to give advantage to.
Ooh.
Oz, you're up.
I have a +7.
Go for it.
Okay. Clearly, everyone has made a decision, and Oz is frustrated. I'm going to, in a huff, just let go of it, walk off, and go pick up my hammer and spit to the side while I do it, and just be like, "Fucking magic."
Cool. You reach down, pick up your hammer, spit to the side, and walk away. It's going to make an attack of opportunity against you. Oh. 16
No.
hits.
Nope. I have a shield.
Oh,
You don't have my shield. You don't have my shield programmed into it.
Oh, okay.
So I have a 17.
Or shield. Okay. So that does not hit. So you don't see it, but Vera, you see as it from its pedestal takes a swing out and it whistles right past the back of Oz's neck. Vera,
I
you're
don't
now
turn
up.
around. I just keep walking.
I just hold up because he's gone now, so I'm just standing in front of it, this little tiny halfling. And I raise up both hands and say, sign of good faith. Please believe us. We apologize. We were jumpy.
Okay. Go ahead. Mary, real quick, would you mind muting your mic? The crinkly is coming across.
Yeah.
All right, Vera, give me a persuasion check with advantage because Talia's trying to help you.
No whammies. It was whammies.
Okay. The gargoyle looks down at you, kind of teeth bared, clawed, stony hand raised, settles back on its pedestal. That's better. Its voice, I can't do it because I'm not made of stone, but its voice is just kind of the sound of gravel kind of turning over. You ever had what are they called? Like a rock smoother thing, rock polishing machine, whatever it is. It basically just rolls rocks around and they get smooth. Sounds a lot like that. And when
It's a
I get
tumbler.
back,
You're thinking of a tumbler.
a rock tumbler, that's what it's called. I'm gonna go put on the rice, and when I come back, I will tell you what he says.
Talk amongst ourselves for a bit.
Are you telling me that I couldn't choke out the statue?
It was
I
an
just,
attempt.
I'm just saying I'm frustrated.
No, that's super cool.
It's always tough when you try and have a cool tagline and then your rolls don't add up to it. So you're like, chew your food, and then just nothing.
I can't roll wisdom for crap, so it's okay.
But then when the tagline works, it's so much better. Okay. So the gargoyle, Vera, says to you, no longer hostile. You have arrived at the tower of the mighty Kingrave. What is your business here?
Well, have you seen the tower of the mighty Kingrave recently? And I point a gesture at the ruin behind me.
Yes, that is indeed the tower of the mighty Kingrave.
Does it look like it looked last time you saw it?
I am not here to answer your questions. I have asked what is your business.
Well, we are here to seek the knowledge of the mighty Kingrave with the utmost respect, and perhaps even to discover what happened to him. I mean, this tower has, frankly, seen better days.
I am the guardian of the gate. The master is indisposed, but you may wait in the waiting room. And he gestures towards the door.
Well, thank you very much. Do you happen to know when your master will be able to see us?
I do not discuss the plans of my master.
Well, thank you very much. How long has it been since he was not indisposed?
I do not discuss the plans or habits of my master.
You can like
You
take
can
a
discuss nothing if you don't want to. And I'll hold up my hammer again.
Do you want to try and intimidate the statue?
Yes.
Roll an intimidation check.
Can I use my strength modifier?
Sure.
We'll just keep using my intimidation. I'll just get out.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna say athletics, but because I have no proficiency, but yeah. Oh. 18.
18? Okay. Wait, are you proficient? Oh, right, got it. Okay. You may enter the waiting room.
And where's that?
Through the
Can
door.
Shoji
The door is unlocked to you.
Can I walk
So it's
through?
like on the ground. There's like a trap door.
I'll just go in.
Probably like a trap door or something.
Shoji, you're walking through the door?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoji, you walk over to the door. The part that has hinges on it is the part that has been blasted away. So it's basically like a handle and 2/3 of a door in half of a stone arch. And you walk up and you take the handle and you open it.
Can I just like?
Can you just like what?
What was that?
You said, "Can I just like?" and then you stopped.
Hello?
Uh-oh.
She lost us.
Oh, sorry. I have a very poor connection. I couldn't hear what you were saying. Can I just
What-
like push it over and walk through?
You reach up and you push on the door and it doesn't move, and you grab
Can
the
I
handle
just
and open it, and it swings open on hinges that are not there. And you look in to a dark
Oh,
chamber.
can I cast light and walk in?
Yes. Real quick, light is a first level spell. You do have candle.
Isn't it a cantrip?
Cantrip?
Yes. In the player's handbook, it is.
Oh.
In Gebrecan, light is a first level spell, but all spellcasters have a cantrip called candle, which is just a much weaker version of light. It casts dim light for 10 feet. So you could use light, and it will function as a light spell, but it's
do that.
As I'm a dick.
Oh. Okay. Is that able to be changed? Is that able to be changed in the fantasy grounds so I don't forget that?
Oh, yeah, I'll add it in. I'll add in the cantrip.
Okay. Thank you. And yeah, I'll just use candle then, yes.
Okay. So you use candle. Dim light extends for about 10 feet, and there is what looks like kind of a broken stone floor that looks like almost like roots have been growing up underneath it and lifted bits of it away. So there are kind of cracks that run through. The walls are made of the same kind of like ruined stone. And that's what you see. The rest of you watch as Shoji walks over to this door and shoves on it. And by all reason, the door should just like topple out of its frame, but it doesn't move. And she opens it towards herself and it swings open. And now there's just kind of 2/3 of a wooden door hanging off invisible hinges. And you can just see kind of this blackness behind her. And it is full daylight. What you should see beyond the doorway is rubble with bright sunlight.
Can I say to the gargoyle, well, thank you very much for your time, sir. We'll go to the waiting room. And I will follow Soji. And has she stepped inside yet?
Yeah, Shoji's. She said she opens the door and kind of steps in. So yeah, she's a few feet inside the door.
Okay, I'll walk in as well. And is it pitch black in there, or she's still got candle up?
It is pitch black in there, other than her candle. So there's it. I think it's a 10-foot radius, is what I said. Of dim light.
Something mainly to please myself, which is cast dancing lights.
Hey, you use your belt of the dancer, your once a day thing to cast dancing lights, and you send them around the room. As you walked past, as you said that to the gargoyle though, and kind of walked past them, it responded, "Perhaps you will learn your lesson for next time." And you guys walk into the room.
As I walk in the room, I'll look to the party and say, well, we only needed to knock on the secretary.
Okay. Are you all going in? Can I get confirmation here?
Yes. I was like, no.
Sometimes I'm jotting notes down, and sometimes I'm looking. So I think I missed some thumbs up. Okay. You guys all walk in, and as soon as do you want the Vremans to come with you or stand guard outside?
I'd say outside.
Okay. The Vremans will all then wait outside, and it's just the 5 of you guys who head in. As soon as the last of you enters, the door slams shut. As you guys investigate this room, you see a bunch of kind of rotted plush chairs of just kind of these dull drab colors. There's kind of a desk that has broken through, and there's just torn papers that are just kind of stamped into the ground, and the ground is kind of wet. There's kind of little puddles. You can see little, just tiny rivulets kind of running down the walls, and it just kind of smells like a sewer in here. There is a hallway, right? So there's the door directly behind you. There are hallways to the right and left, and then there are these long stairs that go up to a little platform with double doors at the top.
Oz is going to go to whatever shelves and pamphlets and just look through all of them for what he's looking for.
Currently, Shoji controls the only light source. So it depends on where Shoji goes and what Shoji wants to do, actually. So Shoji...
Oh, we have the dancing lights. We have the dancing lights.
I'm sorry, I forgot about dancing lights. Never mind. So there are little lights hovering around, and Vera, I think you can send, as long as they don't go more than 10 feet away from each other, something like that. So yeah, you've each got like a globe of light that just kind of follows you around a little bit. It's not a huge room, probably about 30 feet in diameter. So it'll take you guys a little while, but yeah, you guys can case the room. So Oz, you're going for papers. Vera?
I'm also going to loot the desk, but if he's got that, and I can see that he's very determined to find something, so I'll let him do that. Can I go up to one of the hallways?
You can look through the desk if you'd like, right? The desk has drawers, and then there are papers that are scattered all over the ground.
Okay, I will look through the desk then.
Okay, so you're going for the desk. Shoji, what are you doing?
Can I help Vera look through the desk?
Sure. Vera, you can give me investigation with advantage. Oz, investigation as well. Liliana, what are you doing?
I want to look around to see if I can find any like magical items or anything that's kind of been left around, since this is like a wizard's waiting room, basically.
Yeah. All right. Give me investigation checks all around.
Okay.
9.
18.
Vera,
Oh, I did a lot.
the desk drawers, as you open them, you can see the inside is covered with these arcane runes.
Right next to you.
Oz, as you pick up the papers, they are initially completely blank. But as you touch them, kind of ink starts to kind of flow across them, and you can see symbols just popping up all over the place. You're not sure what this is, but it looks like some kind of arcane diagram with some notes in some kind of runic script. Liliana with a 19.
Light.
Yeah.
No, come here. We're floating around and I'm trying to see with my dancing light. Like,
You're doing a very strange but fitting dance, I suppose, in the room as you try to keep the little globe of light shining on these papers as you go through them. Liliana, you find a whole rack of staves and wands. Every one of them appears magical.
Nice. Awesome. Can I touch them?
Yeah, you touch all of them.
Yes. Do any of them kind of leap out to me as something that I would personally use?
All of them.
Awesome. Can I just start poking them?
Oh yeah. No, you have 4 magical staves.
Nice.
And 7 wands.
Hell yes. I love it. I'm here for it.
Can I also Talia over to look at these runes and to look at the papers?
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I said absolutely, but didn't actually hear what you said. It didn't actually register. Say it again.
Call Talia over to look at all these arcane runes and the papers I can see, etc.
Yes, she will roll to see if she understands them. She looks at them and says, "You know, they look oddly familiar, but I can't translate them. But these are important. These are really important."
Is there anything else in the room, or did I see Liliana get all that loot?
Yeah, you. It's impossible to hide. She's got these 4.5 foot long staves, all of them ornately wrought with runes that gleam in the light, and there's gold. And you can see, she's trying to shove them all in the backpack, and they're all sticking out 2.5 feet.
Yes.
and with your passive insight of frickin' 19 perception of 19, you definitely see her stuff the wands in her backpack.
Liliana, darling, would you like to share with the class?
Maybe. I'm just clutching stabs across my chest like there are wands sticking out of my bag. Maybe. I don't know what they do, but I want them.
Is there any way to find out what they do?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how to identify magical objects, unfortunately. If I did, I would identify all of them, but I unfortunately do not. Josh, is this something that if I took enough time, I could kind of piece together what they do?
It would require an identify spell, or over the course of a short rest, you could attune to any one of them, and that would immediately tell you what it does.
Well, yeah, I should hope so if I'm attuned to it.
Just pick the cool one.
I have an actually fairly important point of order. Ozymandias, before he would have gone in this door, would have told Caius, "We're going in the tower." We totally forgot about the rumors, but yeah, I would have just said,
You guys told them to stay out there and keep watch and guard.
"Okay, good."
And let you know if anything bad happens or approaches.
Okay, I did just want to actually let them know before we go inside. We found something. We're going in there. Maybe you guys want to take shelter somewhere. I don't want to leave him out. I wouldn't have left him out there for however long this would be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's all.
All right. You guys have scoured this whole room, and you feel like you've got basically everything that was in here.
I'm gonna start laying out the staffs and wands for Talia and Sho and Vera to help me figure out what the heck they are.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to take a short rest to attune.
It is a waiting room.
It is a waiting room.
True.
Talia does not have identify. So over the course of a short rest, you could each attune to one of them.
Are there some that some
that's true.
can't attune to?
Some that what?
Are there some of them that some of us can't attune to? As a sorcerer, are there some wands or staffs that I can't attune to or something?
You don't know until you've tried.
Okay.
You guys all pick a wand or a staff, and by you guys I mean the three casters, so Liliana, Sho, and Talia. And you guys take about an hour. Oz and Vera, you watch as the three casters just kind of descend on this pile of staves and wands, and they all kind of pick one and like croon over it and stroke it for their short rest. Talia doesn't do that at all. That's not at all Talia. But
While doing
for your
that,
guys' short rest, Oz, what do you guys want to do?
Yeah, can I look at Mom? And I'll just take my dagger out and I'll look at the desk and say, "Do I like really get in there?" And I'm gonna go look and try and find like every false bottom and just like break part of this desk and like really get in this desk.
Yeah, give me an investigation check. I'll give you advantage because you're basically tearing the thing apart.
no.
Oh, oh, good.
We'll take the 16 over the 1.
17.
You start gently at first, kind of running the blade, like the tip of the kind of jagged edge, looking for creases, and you find one, and you kind of push into it a little bit, and this small drawer slowly pulls out of the table, and in it, you see this small notebook, and you flip through it, and it is just more arcane runes and diagrams, and like that.
Take that.
You further destroy the table. You don't find anything additional to that other small notebook. But from the hidden location of that notebook, like this is even more important.
Good to know.
Can I pull a Vera and sort of sneak away from the group?
Sure.
So you said there are 2 hallways going off here?
Yeah, there are 2 hallways. If up is north, right? Sorry, if you're facing north, there's a hallway to the west and the east. Door is directly south, but then there are also these 2 staircases on either side of the room that rise up, and then they both join together at a landing, and it looks like there are some double doors up there.
So are these halls blocked by doors, or are they just hallways going somewhere?
There are doors.
Okay. I'm going to go to the, let's just say, the west hallway and investigate thoroughly for traps, magical or mundane.
Good road. Yeah, give me an investigation check.
Oops. Sorry, was that in the tray? It was. 15.
15. There was a seriously hefty dual like magical rune and mechanical device on this door. You're not quite sure what they would have done, but the trap was extremely elaborate. But you managed to disarm it and mar the rune in kind of just the right way that it doesn't go off. And you open that door.
Can I steal one of my light globules and take it with me?
You would have to take all of them. Because they can't go, I think, more than 10 feet away from each other.
Then can I like sort of put them towards my end, now no longer subtle, who would notice?
It must be within 20 feet of another light. So yeah, but still there's a range restriction. So I'm sorry, what are you doing?
Can I take one basically as far as it can go with me down this corridor?
Yeah. So leaving the others with the others, yeah, you can get about 10, 15 feet down this corridor. And the light sheds 10 feet of light. And so you look another 10 feet down this hallway, there doesn't appear to be anything that you can see. It's a stone hallway.
Okay. Let me see. I don't think I have a lantern or anything like that.
So I had put a note to myself to tell you after the Griffin thing that light was a first level spell so that you guys could make adequate preparations for the next adventure. I forgot that. So each of you can have, like 5 or 10 torches or whatever it is that you like, or whatever preparations you would have done had you known before you set out this time that light is now a first level spell and there's a minor cantrip. Because that's really on me.
Then if this might be a little specific, and I might have had to, I'd be happy to pay for it. It might have had to be custom made. But can I have one of those bullet thieves lanterns?
Bullseye lantern.
Bullseye.
The smiths in the Legion camp, not really their thing. Roll an ability check for one of them. That's a 4. Nope. Yeah, one of them, like you tried to describe it to the smith, who's got like all of these warhammers and swords and shields and suits of armor, and you're describing this incredibly small and intricate device. And he did his best. The result was basically a small lantern.
I'm cool with that.
So you do not have a bullseye lantern, but you've got a lantern.
Okay. I will cover it with a little bit of fabric to dim it even more. So I'm going to try and improvise the slit a little bit.
I'll say it's shedding dim light for 20 feet.
Okay, but not like broadcasting my location, trying to keep it to a beam. And I will sneakity sneak down this hallway.
Okay, you sneakity sneak down this hallway.
Keeping an eye open for traps.
Keeping an eye open for traps. Give me a perception check. Yeah, perception check.
Good. I'm better at that. Hang on. Perception. 21.
21. All right.
I just will. 14.
Okay. You do not see any traps. You go down the hallway about another 20 feet, and you come to a T intersection. You can go right or left.
Sorry, I'm drawing a map. That's really bad because I'm getting to the end of my paper. Okay.
That's fine. I'm going to go back to this room. Vera. So at the end of the hour, Liliana, Shoji, and Talia all make kind of like a startled noise. The objects don't do anything. They are enchanted to appear magical.
Oh, that's funny.
And he's gonna like raise one of the table legs above my head.
Hold on, Oz. I would like Liliana, Shoji, and I'll roll for Talia. I would like you each to make a wisdom saving throw.
For enchanted items that don't have any actual magic to them?
There is a magic, but the only magic on them is to make them appear magical.
11.
Okay. Liliana, you are convinced that there is more to this wand. The fact that it is hiding the real enchantment is a strong indication that the real enchantment is significant. Shoji and Talia kind of look at theirs in disgust and drop them.
Can I just hand mine to Liliana since she's still like?
Oh yeah, Liliana really takes
Can I pick up the other one too from the ground and hand it back to her? Say, there you go. You can keep these.
Does that actually work?
I heard something.
Okay, did anybody see what I just typed to Liliana?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Oz was just going to take one of the desk legs that he had broken off, and when they make that startle noise, he's going to run over and, what's wrong? I'm like holding like a baseball bat.
Yeah, give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, Oz, what are you doing for this short rest?
Well, when they all make it's like a startled noise and freak out, he's going to break off one of the desk legs and run over with like a baseball bat and be like, what? What's wrong? And
You appear, what? Shoji and Talia just kind of look disappointed. Liliana is staring at all of these just wide-eyed. Vera left towards the beginning of the rest. It's been about an hour and she has not returned.
Can I start headed down where she went?
Yeah, sure. Shoji starts heading down that hallway.
is there any indicator to our wait time?
Is there
Oz is
anything?
gonna, like any indicator to our, it said it's a waiting room, and Oz is like, how much longer do we have in here?
This waiting room is clearly out of use. All of the chairs are rotted and dilapidated. The desk was already a mess. All of the bookshelves are kind of rotten wood. There's water that trickles down the walls and pools in small places on the floor.
So were the gargoyles.
True.
Yeah, but Oz is gonna say, well, let's go find the old bat.
But she would only have the courage to say outside of her hearing.
Absolutely.
So Liliana, are you gathering up all of the wands and staves? You are muted.
Just leave me to drink my wine. No, yes, I am gathering them all up.
Okay, so you collect all of the staves and wands. You've got them, and you guys head down this corridor. You go down about 40 feet, and you run into a dead end.
Oh.
Can I like touch the wall? Is it actually a dead end?
Yeah, it's straight up a dead end. This is a stone wall in front of you.
And this is the way we saw Vera go?
Yeah, this is the way she went.
Oh no.
Oh.
At this point, we'll go ahead and turn back over to Vera.
Oh no.
Vera, you hit this T intersection. What did you do?
I went right.
Okay. You take a right, you go down the corridor. It's just these blank stone walls. And you go down the corridor and you run into a dead end.
I'll do the same snoopity snoop around the dead end. Is it actually a dead end?
It's a straight up dead end.
Okay. I will backtrack.
All right. You backtrack. And you run into you go back about 40 feet, and you have hit a four-way intersection. You can go straight left or right.
I'll go left.
You go left, you go down the corridor about 40 feet, you hit a dead end. Okay. You continue like that. The corridors change. What was a dead end is now a four-way stop. What was a four-way stop is now a T intersection. Sometimes it just hangs a left. At one point, you climb a ladder, and these corridors seem endless. The rest of the party, you guys walk down this corridor. You run into this dead end, and you turn back to head back to that room. And you run into another dead end.
Can I just head back the other way then? Like, Okay, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna wander a labyrinth.
You now go back the other way towards the first dead end, and now it's a T intersection.
I'll go left.
So, at this point, it takes you guys a little bit. You guys are trapped.
Oh man.
The way this works is you guys are trapped in an unending labyrinth.
Oh.
The way it works is you need each day. You guys can attempt to escape. Each of you may make a separate check.
Well, can I say one thing that Oz would have done?
Yeah.
Over the course of the first 15 minutes, as we're like going and hitting dead ends and turning, and like he's slowly picking up speed, and like by the end of it, this full out sprinting, foaming at the mouth. He's pissed. He's gonna try and break down one of these dead ends. Just take out his hammer and just bash it down, and like screaming and trying to break it down. Does it like give it all or?
I'd like to assist and cast Chill Touch.
Okay. You guys start hammering at the wall, and eventually it gives way. And you guys keep going, and you run into a T intersection. And you pick a direction, and you run into, and it keeps going. Occasionally, Oz loses it and just has to smash at something. You guys break straight to the wall, and you appear somewhere in another corridor. So here's what you guys can do. You can either make a straight check. It needs to be wisdom, charisma, or intelligence.
Right.
If you have a skill that you would like to use in a particular way that utilizes one of those three things, I will hear arguments.
I'd like to intimidate the wall.
Okay, I have a pretty high charisma.
You may intimidate your way out of this place.
No.
All you have to do is give me 2 natural 20s in a row.
Crap.
It does happen.
It does, actually.
I'm good at intimidation and persuasion.
You guys can take a minute to think about how you want to get out of this place. And as you come up with whatever it is you want to use, go for it. Let me know what you're going to try.
May
If
I?
someone's good at.
May I?
So each of you is going to make a check. So each of you gets to figure out what thing you're going to try.
Oh,
May I
okay.
try to perceive patterns in what I'm seeing and sort of methodically map out the changes?
Ooh, I love it. That's awesome. You absolutely can try that.
Okay.
Okay? Don't roll yet. There's another rule. And once we've got everybody,
Since I have all this weird old history stuff apparently rolling around in my brain, can I try and like see if I can use some kind of like historical knowledge of of towers like this, or of this kind of magic? I guess I could use Arcana to try and like discern the magic around us to see if I can find a way to like kind of penetrate through it.
So you're specifically going to try to use Arcana to try and pick apart the magic, because it's obviously something magical happening.
Yeah.
I love it.
Az is convinced that this is some sort of an illusion. So he's going to take his warhammer, he's going to smack it on the walls, and listen with his perception check for the reverberation, and like try and listen and see if there's any actual true hallways anywhere.
Okay, right. So your vision is being manipulated, but your hearing might not be.
Yeah, I'm gonna like close my eyes and just like smack it and like listen and I'll probably get better at it over the course of the whole time. Whatever. That's my use perception to listen.
That is super cool. I will absolutely let you try and use echolocation.
I was trying not to say it.
That is pretty cool.
What would you like to attempt?
Could I try to deceive whatever magic is here into like either putting myself in like a false position or like I'm not even there and just like try to work my way around the magic that way?
And what are you going to try to use to do that? What skill would you like to employ?
I'm trying to use deception, but I'm not sure how applicable that could be. Another thing.
I'm going left, right.
It's going to be difficult to deceive magic that is currently in you.
How about sleight of hand? Maybe like try to find some mechanism or something.
Okay, you're going to search for some kind of lever. So that would be an investigation roll.
Okay.
Welcome to attempt.
If I'm going to do the investigation, could I rather use Arcana to try to figure out what magic is going on and maybe a counterspell or something?
And you know what? First, though, Shoji, give me a wisdom check.
Wisdom check. Okay.
Yeah.
Like a wisdom save?
I'll give you insight if you've got any pluses to that, if you'd like.
Oh, I have no pluses to my wisdom. Here we go. Ooh.
17. As you were walking into the tower, you heard Vera as that last exchange with the gargoyle, and the gargoyle's last words kind of come back to you now. When you've learned your lesson, perhaps, try again, right? Or do better next time, or something like that. But with a straight 17 on your insight, you realize that you are being punished.
Being what?
Punished.
Punished. Okay.
You are being taught a lesson. I don't know if that informs what you might want to try and do to get out.
Yes, actually. It does, actually. Can I use deception to show my remorse for attacking and my foolishness? Maybe like get on my knees. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm such a fool.
I love it. Yeah. With that as your attempt to deceive, yes, you may attempt to deceive the magic that has you guys trapped.
Josh, if you make me apologize for Labyrinth, I'm going to be so mad. But if you make me apologize to the Labyrinth, I'm going to be
That's why I'm using deception.
You said, learn your lesson, use your manners. Oh, man.
Leah's going to go ahead and try and use Arcana as well, because this is clearly magical. So, what we're going to do is we're going to roll a series of group checks. The DC is 25.
25. Ooh.
You need 3. So not 3 consecutive successes within like one group roll, but across group rolls, at least one person needs to hit the DC 3 times in a row.
Oh.
So, first group check. Everybody give me a roll.
We just have like 6
What are we
times
rolling?
advantage to hit 25 3 times in a row.
Are we just whatever we chose?
Yeah, whatever skill you chose there.
Nope.
What position? All right. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my my thing here so that it's larger. There we go. Okay. Okay, any 25s?
No.
No.
All right, give me another group roll.
Josh, what if we can't actually get to 25, even if we get a natural 20?
On natural 20, even if you can't get to 25, will be considered a success.
Okay. So let's say because,
Will be considered 2 successes.
okay, because my Arcana is a +3. There is no way, unless I roll a natural 20, to even get close.
If you'd like to switch up the skill as time goes on, you are welcome to.
Okay.
Okay, so group check 1, nothing. Group check 2 is a success. Group check 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No 25s. All right, group check 4. Okay.
Do you want us to roll just like 5 d20s?
I'm sorry?
Roll just like 5 d20s and then
I guess it would work as long as we counted them.
each
Yeah,
one is
I didn't think through this, did I? I guess we could just average it out. Let's try that.
If we roll 5 d20s, it'll give us each individual. Like, right, what's your first die, second die, third die? You know, rather than having to just continually.
Yeah. So let's do that. Everybody. So what you can do is you pick up the d20 and then right click 4 times, and you can roll 5 at a time, and just everybody give me 5 rolls there.
Oh.
Okay. Oh. Do I add 7 to those though?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have 7 to them.
Ooh.
Okay. On the first round, no 25s. Second one, no 25s. Third, nope. Liliana, no, not quite.
No, I have a +3, remember?
And fifth, Oz, what do you have as a plus to yours?
4.
4? Okay. Cool. Give me 5 more.
It's been over a week here now.
Natural 20.
That is a natural 20. So if anyone on the second round
Oz did a
gets
natural
the
22.
success, then we're set. Let me go ahead and roll for 3.
Oz also rolled a natural 20.
Yeah, but it wasn't on the next round is the problem. So here we go. Liliana, natural 20. Second round, no 25s. So that one's gone. Third round, doubles. So fourth round.
+9.
Oh, not quite.
Mine is +9, just so you know.
Oh, yours is +9?
But still not enough.
On the fourth round, it's just a 12. All right. Give me another set.
My God. I rolled a natural 20 for my last day.
That's a 20. If anybody on round 4 gets any
Vera
success,
did. Vera
you're
rolled a
at it.
natural 20.
She did?
Yeah, on day 4.
Nice. Okay, there you go. So that day 4, and then the 5th day, it looks like,
Yeah.
is the other natural 20?
Yeah, I did natural 20 on the 5th day.
Okay.
The next one needs to have a natural 20 or 25. Because we didn't make it day 3, our next day is what's going to make it.
Nick, you're cutting in and out. Can't hear you very well.
So we didn't make it on the 3rd day. So we did it on 4 and 5. So our next day, we're going to make it. This next one.
No,
But
you
because
only need 3.
natural 20s count as 2.
But I thought it was in a roll. Oh, got it.
So,
You said a natural 20 counts as 2 successes?
yes.
So we did it the first time because it was, oh, wait, no, but it was 2 and never mind.
Right, because it was a natural 20, and then nobody got the success, and they need to be consecutive.
Okay.
Okay. A couple of things happen. You guys spend an indeterminate time down here. You have to. You never see Vera. Vera, you are totally alone as you try and try to figure out the pattern here. And you guys sleep and wake up and search and sleep and wake up and search and sleep several times. You don't know how many. But after some amount of time, who rolled the natural 20s? That was Vera and Liliana?
Yeah.
And Liliana, what were you doing with yours?
Arcana. I was trying to like look through the illusion or whatever it was to get out. Kind of like breach the magic.
You've been trying for days, and you've gotten to the point where you can interact with the environment in a way that is not like you touching stone. You can warp it a little bit with your will. As you do that and start to kind of learn the properties of this place, you can feel things kind of click in place in your mind. Things are just kind of coming. Something makes sense, and you're not sure why, but there's something there. Like you're on the verge of a breakthrough. You're just waiting for that last push of inspiration. Vera, as you're going through, you're trying to figure out patterns, and you start to hear kind of psychic echoes as you go through this. There's no pattern to what you're doing because it's just you. You're not sure, but you are aware of your friends here, and somehow their actions are echoing through your reality. And you start to track the patterns. At this point, you've probably got, I don't know if it's like ink on your arm or like some kind of clothing where you've just got these calculations and things patterned out as you're trying to figure this out.
Can I please Madame Defarge it?
Oh my God! Yes, as you're going through the tunnels, you're knitting the calculations.
Oh yes.
I love
That's funny.
You knit the pattern. By the time you find the party, you've got like a 10-foot length of this thing. And you find that as Liliana is sending echoes out kind of through this magic, you can actually kind of prod her thoughts in the right direction. And eventually, you guys all walk through a doorway. This is everybody except Vera. You walk through a doorway into the waiting room. However, the waiting room this time is brightly lit. and very strange. All of the chairs, there were 5 of them. They were kind of these rotted, dark, wet, soaked through chairs. They are now bright and garishly colored. One is this like bright yellow color that it is difficult to look at. Another one is just kind of this light, like lavender color. One is this bright pink, this lime green one, and just this dark purple. And they're all just kind of scattered about the room. The desk is intact. It has papers on it, ink, whatever. There are bookshelves full of books. Everything is brightly lit and clean. There are still cracks in the floor and the walls. But this looks like a well-kept and intact waiting room. And after a few minutes, as you guys kind of a little afraid to take the next step, you don't know how long it's been since you last saw, the crappy version of this room. But after a few minutes, the door behind you opens, and Vera steps in. And Vera, you see all of this as well, and for the first time in you don't know how long, you see all of your friends. She comes in trailing this long thing of just this long strip of knitting. It looks like a scroll, but it's knit. And Liliana, as you see it, you go, yeah, that! Oh, yes! The patterns all kind of jump out at you, and you're like, yes, I was doing that! Wait, what?
This has been a bit.
Yeah, where the hell have you been?
My curiosity got the better of me again. But I have this, which I think will be very warm if we get out into winter cold again, and I start wrapping myself in my scarf.
It fully covers. You've got knit pauldrons and yeah. Also, you guys are at this point 100% out of any kind of rations.
Yeah. Any food in there.
Not that you see in this room. So actually, that is long enough. So you would all have had about 10 days rations at the most. You guys have not eaten in what feels like a week. So you all have 2 levels of exhaustion until you can get something to eat. However, you have this is the thing I forgot to mention. You have all gained all of the benefits of multiple long rests. So I actually can do this here. Hold on.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna go ahead and get you out. Okay, menu rest. Full rest. Hey, okay. So you are all fully rested. You've got your spell slots. You've got your hit points back. You all have your full hit dice again. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and give you multiple rests just to make sure that the program here fully restores your missing hit dice. Okay, good. You're all back at your maximum hit dice and everything. You all have 2 levels of exhaustion from hunger because not because. So you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack roll. No, just ability checks. And your speed is half.
Question.
Yes.
So were we not eating the rations that we had with us, or did we already consume them?
You consumed them and ran out what feels like a week ago.
Okay. Well, I'm going to snoop around this room for something edible.
Yeah, I'm in the desk. I am. I said when you said the desk was intact, not for long. And
Papers and quills and ink bottles flying as you attack the desk. Real quick, sorry, just a couple more things. Liliana, all of the staves and wands have vanished.
Okay.
Vera and Oz, all of the paper, the little notebook, and everything that you guys had found, those are also gone. Okay, Oz is attacking the desk. Liliana, what are you doing? That bodes
I'm
good.
just gonna look around again, kind of the way I was before, see if there's any new supplies.
Okay. So give me investigation. Oz, investigation. Vera.
I was looking for edible things, and with my background, I would be knowledgeable in how to make certain things that would otherwise be inedible edible.
You may do that. I don't know what that would be. So give me a wisdom or intelligence check and add your proficiency bonus.
Cool beans.
It's basically a cooking roll. Shoji, what are you doing?
Ooh.
Can I?
Also, real quick, Shoji, I think you turning off your camera messes up the kind of the organization of the camera on the stream. So is it possible for you to turn that back on?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was off. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I didn't know it was off.
Shoji, what are you doing?
Can I go up the stairs, not go through the doors, but just kind of investigate any kind of magical presence I might be feeling there?
Yeah. As you step on the steps, you realize that all of the steps are broken. But as you look closer, the steps are not actually broken. They are just bizarrely shaped. It looks like one step is normal, and then the next one is basically shaped like a puzzle piece. It's got weird bits and curves and angles sticking out. As you go up the staircase, you have to take it slow to avoid tripping. All of the stairs, they alternate between angular and then smooth and rounded and then just bizarre shapes. They're just weird, and there is no rhyme or reason to them whatsoever. And you can go ahead and give me an Arcana check when you get to the double doors at the top. In the meantime, what are we looking at roll-wise? We've got Liliana with investigation. You do not find any magical items. She's not here. Cool. I'll narrate that later. Oz. You tear apart the desk. There's no secret drawer. You look for that. It's not there. Papers go flying. You throw out the drawers. There is nothing edible in this drawer. Vera, you find the same thing. The books on the bookshelves are made of vellum, and you're like, okay, cool. Like if I could get some water and whatnot, you pull it off. As you hold it, after about 1 minute, as you're trying to like pull things together, the book vanishes and reappears on the shelf.
Cool.
Shoji, with a 14, do you have anything plus to your Arcana? You do not. Okay.
No.
Shoji, you detect nothing magical about this door. Although it is carved with images of like the sun on one door and the moon on the other, with kind of the phases of the moon underneath it and constellations and all kinds of garish, ostentatious, arcane symbols. There is nothing magical about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I shout at this magical room as desperately, politely, and angrily as possible? Is there any fucking ale in here? I'm gonna ask the room if there's anything, and I'm literally gonna shout it at the room. This magical room.
Okay. You do that, and it echoes through the room.
I'm just gonna smash my head on the desk and sit there in the chair for like Wild.
Can I?
Alrighty. Yeah, Shoji.
Can I call down to everyone and be like, I'm gonna go through. Is that cool, or should I wait?
Wait one moment. Have we tried the front door?
Oh, yeah. I suppose we don't know.
I mean, the one that goes presumably outside. Can I go real fast and check that front door? Does it look weird?
Yes. What the front? So the front door is the door that you all kind of exited the tunnels out of, but you go back and open it, and you look out onto a like early but turning into mid-spring Worcestershire. The snow has almost completely melted. There's very little left. The Freemans are nowhere to be seen. And the gargoyle is sitting fully intact on its pedestal.
I'm going to step out if I can, if nothing terrible happens to me, and walk up to the gargoyle.
Okay, you do. And warm sunlight splashes across you as you step out into this spring day. You can hear birds singing. You can see insects, right? A couple of bees kind of flying around. Like you don't know how long it's been. It's been a little bit.
Does the city from here look intact?
So from where you are, you're now kind of fairly deep into the palace district. You can see the palace, and you no longer see the shimmering redness. You can't really see across the city though. Other than the snow melting, everything around you looks more or less the same as it was.
Okay. I'm going to walk up to the gargoyle and say, excuse me, sir. Any sign of
Yes, you have arrived at the tower of the mighty Ruphus Kingrave. What is your business?
Thank fucking God.
Well, do you recognize how we met before? Because I promise I've met you before. You sent us to the waiting room.
Visitors to the tower of the mighty Kingrave keep their business private, and I cannot discuss it.
You can't discuss our own business with ourselves?
Liliana, have you come out here?
Yeah.
I am not equipped with recording capabilities.
No, really? Wow. Surprised the wizard didn't upgrade you. Too bad.
So, never mind.
Well, I'm going to start to, because I've eaten grass before, I'm going to start to scrounge around the outdoor area for edibles.
Yeah, give me an investigation check for that. Liliana, I'm sorry, you were gone when I started to narrate this roll. You didn't find any magical items or anything on your second circuit of this room. The investigation check that you rolled. So you two are outside. You're scrounging around for stuff. Show and Oz, you guys hear this conversation going on out there. What are you doing in here?
Face down at the desk.
Face down on the desk.
Still, I'm still sitting in the chair, face down on the desk.
Okay.
I'll be waiting by the door, seeing if they're gonna come back in. But very, very tempted to just go on by myself.
Vera, you discover a number of small berries that are just starting to sprout. They're still green, so they're kind of hard and super sour, but it's something.
And forgive me, what was the date or what was the time of year when we came in here?
It was winter, I think, or just starting to become spring.
Was it getting to winter?
It was the first. You guys were about halfway through, towards the end of the first month of spring.
So it makes sense to Vera trying to figure out what has happened here, that we have clearly spent some time. I guess what Grace was thinking is that we've gone backwards because of the restored tower. But Vera is now thinking we have just been in there a long time. In time.
Yeah, it looks like, right, so you've got three possibilities. Either you guys cycled through like an entire year and then back to around the same time of year, or you're just later in this same season, or you've gone back. Oh no, that wouldn't work because the tower was destroyed less than a year ago. No, a little more than a year ago. So yeah, it's also possible that you could have gone backwards a year to around the same season, but after the tower is destroyed.
That's what I was asking earlier about. Does the city look destroyed? I mean, does it look like we're now in pre-destruction Worcestershire and the tower is restored?
No, the tower is definitely still destroyed.
Okay, that's what I was confused but you were saying that the waiting room was restored.
The waiting room is restored, absolutely, yes. But when you look through the door, you see the waiting room. When you look around the door, you see rubble.
Okay. Well, we've definitely failed in our mission. Because if this much time has passed, that ship has literally sailed.
Well, isn't that a problem?
Can I go to the edge of where we came from into this estate and just sort of look down the street and look around a little bit? And does it look the same, different than when we arrived?
Yeah, you go down, you look down the street. It looks the same. There's damage to a lot of the buildings that you can see. Look at the calendar here. You can see that the red moon, which you can see kind of faintly, is almost completely eclipsed. So it's you can't see very much of it, and you can see about half of the white moon.
And from that, can we determine how long it's been?
You can't determine the year.
But how many days have passed in the moon cycle since when we last saw it?
Oh, sure. You know what? I'll give you a straight intelligence check.
Talia would probably do it better than me, but yes, I will do it.
True. Talia will give you advantage.
Thank you. Okay, hang on a second. Advantage. Where's my D20? Ooh, nat 20.
With a natural 20, it is 18 days after you entered the tower.
Okay. Yep. Mission fail. Sorry, y'all.
Shoji, you threw open the doors and walked into kind of the room at the top of the landing.
Ooh.
The room has not a whole lot in it. It's about the same size as the room you just left, but there is a large, soft-looking couch. It looks like a psychiatrist's couch, right? So it's got like the arms, but there's no back on either side. And it's laid out there, and then there's another, there's like a plush chair right next to it. All of them gaudily colored. The couch has stars and moons and suns in these intricate patterns all over it. And then on the other side, you can see a table that is covered with just kind of racks of what look like potions with various brightly colored liquids in it.
Ooh.
There are also, on the left side of the room, there are two doors that look like they lead just into smaller rooms as part of this one large one.
Okay, are there any stairs going up, or is this it?
No, that's all you see in this room.
Okay, can I knock on the door? One of the doors?
One of the doors? Yeah, you walk in and you knock on one of the doors. No response.
Can I try the other one?
You knock on the other door. No response.
Okay. Can I investigate the potions?
Yeah, you go over and you look at the potions, and all of them are labeled. And they've all got these strange names that range all the way from something like Fool's Bane and Arcanist's Friend to Quintessence and Ponceau Filtrum. Just these weird names that just run the gamut from a name, fairly standard, potion name, interesting, whatever, to just these bizarre words and fancy labels.
You can steal Bridget's I can't believe it's not ice potion. Stick it in here.
They are all brightly, just vividly colored.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Also on the table, you see a number of flyers. Just little tablets, like wooden carved tablets that you could pass out, or cheap paper with these fancy things written on them. Things like always know where he's really going with Kingrave's trackable buttons. There are things like purgatives, love potions, futures red.
Oh my!
Things like got something the doctors can't cure, come to Kingrave. Just various absurd things like that.
Wow, can I collect all of these things?
Yeah, you can take all of them. There's
Yeah.
So what's strange is you don't recognize any of the potions. None of them look like anything you've ever seen before. Nothing with like these colors. If you wanted to pop the cork on one, you could try and get an odor and maybe identify it that way.
Can I use the flyers to identify them?
The flyers are mostly just advertisements for coming to Kingraves.
Okay.
There's not like a chart that says, this is this potion,
Right.
and this is this one. Given the equipment that's also on this table, this looks like this is not what the customers would come and be able to do anything at this table. This is where like the chair, it looks like the wizard would like sit in the chair, patient lays on this nice comfy couch, and then the wizard, right, uses the stuff that's on this table.
Okay. For now, I don't want to try to identify. I just want to keep them.
Okay, you have 11 strange unidentified potions.
Okay. How fun.
Okie doke. So there's still two doors in this room, and then down in the waiting room, there's one door that. Oh, I'm sorry. There is another door in this room that I wrote in the wrong place.
Ooh, so there's 3 doors up here.
Yeah, there's one more in the far wall, and this one is a plain, solid oak door, rimmed, like banded with iron, and just a sign on it that says, "Absolutely no one past this point."
Oh, can I knock on the door of that one?
You knock on the door of that one, and nothing happens.
Okay.
So you've been up here in
All right, yeah.
for a little while. In the meantime, Vera, you've identified no threats. You know exactly how long it's been since you guys entered the tower. The implications of that are starting to sink in.
Still looking for food. That's more of an issue.
Yeah, you've got it. So if you want to head to outlying buildings, you're risking an encounter check.
Yeah. I'm more like, I'm gonna literally boil grass right now, which I've done before.
Yeah. If you're just taking what you can find in here, you rolled a 21, so you've got enough that you guys can remove the second level of exhaustion. It's just handfuls of sour apples and unripe berries.
I start eating it.
So yeah, you're putting it into your apron and your new knit suit, just kind of stuffing it in places, eating a handful here and there. But as soon as you guys kind of gather and consume that, you guys can remove that second level of exhaustion. Liliana, so as Vera has gone off to investigate that stuff, Liliana, what are you doing? And then Oz, if you've picked your head up or not, I don't know. So we'll start with Liliana.
I'm gonna go investigate the rubble to see if anything has changed, and also go and see if the soldiers are still there that we left behind.
Okay. You immediately see that the soldiers are not here.
Yeah.
And if you want to give me a survival check.
Okay. That's a 5.
Cool. They are not here, and you see no evidence of them ever having been here. And then go ahead and give me the investigation into the rubble. Meanwhile, Oz, what are you doing?
Has Vera come back yet?
What was that?
Has Vera come back inside yet?
Vera has. Sure. If you want to keep head down on the table until Vera comes back in. Yeah, we can move to that point. So yeah, Vera comes in. She's got like half a cloak full of berries and apples and other such things.
As she walks in, only Vera would have seen this. But Oz picks his head up, and there are light teeth marks on the desk. And I would get up and I would see the food, and I would climb over the desk and sprint towards her and ask kind of, but not, and just start eating food. And I'll say thank you through gushing juices if there's any juice in these things. But yeah.
Not so much. They're not juicy yet, but yeah, you've just got crab apple and just food in your mouth. And it is disgusting and the most wonderful sensation you've ever felt. Liliana, you find nothing new in the rubble. It's the same. It's just stone and nothing else that you would expect to see in a destroyed building.
Has there was snow before? Is the snow still there?
Largely melted. It's almost completely gone.
Okay.
But in kind of those places that are in the shade, there are still kind of the little bits and pieces. But for the most part, it's probably like Colorado now, but maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah.
We're talking that.
Okay.
Okay. So if you guys all like come down and get the food, unless Show is going to go through that door.
Yeah.
No, I'll I'll want to go through it, but I'll first get some food.
So you guys all come down. You stuff your faces full of sour fruit and berries. Your stomach really hurt after that. It's a lot of stuff that's not quite meant to be eaten yet on a really empty stomach. But you can remove 1 level of exhaustion, so you've got disadvantage on ability checks, which actually we have not been doing at all. Oops. You still have disadvantage on ability checks, but you do not have your movement is no longer halved.
Yes, I should warn you. There's going to be a lot of cramping, possibly the runs after this, but it'll be worth it.
Absolutely.
It'll take long.
Okay. Else.
Your cat, yes.
Remind me, does Talia still have her way to contact the commandant with the letters?
She does actually. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps we should write a status report. Not
Yeah.
dead.
What do you want to write?
Just
We can do more if she thinks we're dead.
sorry, I can't. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
One more time, Nick.
Maybe she should think that we're dead. We can do more if we're dead.
We can do more if the government who's giving us money thinks that we're dead.
Yeah, it would be free to do what we can. Where's the money coming now? It doesn't fill my belly at all.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that we
Oh,
can
your cat!
Nick, I'm not sure what's going on with your audio, but it sounds like you're talking like in a container underwater.
Okay.
Is it, am I the only one hearing that?
No, it does sound weird.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. So I'm not gonna leave the stream. Is there a way that I like just reset it, or?
It's getting better, actually.
Getting a little better. But yeah, see what happens if you just talk closer to it for just a little bit.
Okay.
Weren't we able to do whatever we wanted before this? And if we don't let them know that we're alive, we're just not.
Yeah,
Gonna
there's still things in the tower. I plan on investigating before we leave. I mean, it was quite a trial to get here. Might as well see it through.
You can see that her back is bulging with metal.
Oh, I'm sure.
Out the top.
Just saying.
Dead, bro.
Perhaps let's investigate the rest of the tower, but keep this in mind that we can contact Commandant. And we probably should whenever we intend to leave. Unless we want to sever ties with Dream entirely, which I don't think we do at this point.
Fine. I think send the letter, whatever you're doing. I don't think our tall nerd friend girl here will be convinced otherwise. We should probably talk to him.
But I do agree that perhaps a delay might be wise, especially if there's more to this tower. Don't fancy being in another 3 weeks.
As you wish, Ma.
So, Miss Shaw, what have you discovered upstairs?
I found 11 strange potions that I don't know what they do yet. But I just kind of didn't.
And there's more to be seen there, though.
Yeah, there are 3 doors. One in there's absolutely no one beyond this point. So I'm not sure what we're gonna find, but it's very intriguing. I want to go back and investigate.
Are we sure that this wizard was a real wizard and wasn't just like pretending to be a wizard so people would give him money, because like all of the signs that we've seen are kind of pointing to the idea that this guy is a total hack.
Well,
Very
Labyrinth.
Didn't hear anything about anybody what they said.
that labyrinth felt very real.
Well, just because you can do a few parlor tricks doesn't mean you're an actual wizard.
Do that
well,
one.
he did.
Do the unending torture of a labyrinth. Show that parlor trick.
I'm a sorceress. I don't have any of that shit that I do.
Don't give me you did much in there either.
Talia pipes up and says, I have to agree with Liliana. I am a wizard, and I've never seen anything like that, and I certainly couldn't do it.
I think.
What about your?
What?
What's that?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You can.
No, I was just gonna say. I would go. We should stay together, but we would probably be investigating further.
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of investigating as a group, but I am very curious about what we're gonna find. Can we go? And I kind of start like walking back.
Yeah, I'll follow her into that room. Yeah, I'm ready to investigate.
Okay. Okay. You guys head up these bizarre stairs, again, angular and weird. And you head up to sorry, what else was in here? Good. Okay, and you head up into that room. You see the couch and the table with now empty racks on it. You see this door, right, that says, yeah, absolutely no one beyond this point, kind of dead ahead across the room, big, solid, iron-banded door, and then two smaller, simple-looking doors off to the left.
I would approach the left doors first because I've learned my lesson about going down the side one.
Okay. So you go to that first door.
I will investigate the crap out of it.
Go ahead and investigate the crap out of it.
Can I help her?
Sure.
So now it's a straight roll then.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. We have this.
Shoji, are you proficient in investigation?
No.
Okay. Somebody proficient in investigation can help her. But otherwise, she's rolling at disadvantage.
Leah?
Oh, yeah. Talia's probably. Yeah. Talia will assist you.
Okay. It wasn't good.
There is no crap on this door at all.
Of course not. I opened the door.
You open the door. It is filled with what looks like boxes and barrels, filled with dry foodstuffs, rotting vegetables, and various other degraded food items. But there are several things that have been magically preserved.
Are you saying I gave us the runs for no reason?
No.
Yes.
You gave the party the runs prematurely, not for no reason.
There you go.
So both of these rooms just have supplies in them, enough for you all to eat, finish that second level, get rid of that second level of exhaustion, and you've all got 3 rations.
Nice.
All right. Are you brave enough to
All right.
open the door? How are we feeling?
Yes, let's go.
Yes.
I'm gonna walk out into that cushy chair lobby and just shout to the room, "Oh, mighty Kingrave, where are you?"
You shout that loudly, and it echoes.
Can Talia and I investigate the heck out of the signed door?
You may investigate the heck out of the door.
Can we do it together, or she does it and I help her?
Sure. So it'll depend. Are you guys looking for magical or mechanical traps?
How about she can look for magical, I'll look for mechanical. We can do different rolls.
Okay, so you guys will roll separately.
Investigation. Oh, I can't roll for crap. Yeah, this is it's totally not trapped, not mechanically.
Yeah, there is no heck on this door. Talia finds a very large rune that is clearly carved into the handle of the door. She can attempt. She does not have dispel magic. Cool. So yes, there is a magical trap on this door. It appears to be focused in a rune that is on the handle.
Okay.
Turning the handle will activate.
Okay, I have an idea. First, can I tell everybody to get behind something as far away from the door as they possibly can?
Okay.
So does everybody do that?
Yeah.
Try to shoot the handle.
I'm gonna keep
Ooh.
Shoot the handle? Sure. Yeah, you guys crowd into the food storage rooms. Some of you are kind of hiding behind the couch. You guys have like flipped over the table. Yeah, Vera, how far away are you shooting it?
Well, let me look at my range and my hand crossbow. Hold on a second.
Well, I'll tell you this: 30 feet is the max distance you can get away from it and still see it.
Okay, then I will hunker down behind something and do it 30 feet.
You got it. Just for kicks and giggles, because you'll hit it eventually. Give me an attack roll.
Yeah, okay. This should be plus a 7. Ooh.
Oh yeah. Okay. You take the shot, it hits the door, and like waves of energy roil out from it, but stop about 10 feet away from it, and then slowly fade.
Oh.
To approach and investigate the door, you nail the rune. The rune itself is totally destroyed. Your arrow's ruined because you just jammed it into metal. Give me a d20 roll, by the way.
Oh, thank you for
Actually,
reminding
give me like 4 d20 rolls because I don't remember how many times you attacked last episode, but what the hey.
Okay, I'll just roll it. 4.
Yeah, you just roll all at a time because the sequence doesn't matter. Cool. Your quiver is still 1d20.
Because I got a nat 20, does like it's magically regenerate?
No. No. It is a mundane quiver. The arrows do not replenish.
Fine.
Okay, good. The rune appears to be destroyed, and you turn the handle, and the door eases open, and there is a ladder that just goes straight down into darkness.
How
In fact,
long does light last?
Never mind. Light lasts for a minute, an hour.
That just drop a torch on it.
Yeah, we might have to make do with more mundane light.
Lasts for an hour.
Ah, okay. I'll go ahead
Can I just
and
drop a torch down
pass
it?
that.
Right?
Yeah. If you want to just drop a torch down, sure. Do you still want to cast light, or do you want to go with torches and whatnot?
Well, what does the torch do?
Mm,
The torch just drops down about 20 feet and hits a stone floor at the bottom of the ladder. From the light of the torch, you
okay,
can
I'll
see
wait until.
there's a doorway with no door in it that leads somewhere else.
And is there anything else in that? Is it just like, is there a room, or is it just like a small room with a door?
It looks like there's just a landing and then a door. A doorway. There's no door in it.
I'll go down.
So Shoji, did you want to use light or just stick with torches for now?
Stick with torches for now, but just I'll let everyone know it's available.
Vera is the first one down. So as you all come down, you will all see this eventually, but I'll go ahead and just give you guys the description here. Vera, you walk into. Sorry, was somebody else saying something? Okay. You walk down into a room, same size and shape, just this large circular room. Oh, not the same size. This is significantly larger. This one is maybe half again the size of the previous ones. And you see a number of things. 3 tables in the room contain. One of them looks like a writing desk. I mean, it's long. It's about 10 feet long, but it's covered in papers and notes and quills and ink and kind of places like those things that you can set on a desk where it's raised up and tilted, so you could put a book and have it facing you, things like that. On the second table, you see all kinds of what looks like glass blowing equipment, very fine tweezers and hammers and gold and silver wiring that looks like kind of a jeweler's station. And next to that is a small, set into a tabletop, not kiln, because that's for like pottery, but forge. With a small anvil next to it. And then across the room is the third and final table, and it just looks like a whole bunch of potions and beakers and distilling equipment. On the far side of the room is a massive symbol set into the floor. This thing is a full 20 feet in diameter. And while most of the floor is carved, I'm sorry, set stone, this looks like one piece. You don't know how it was achieved, but there is one like 20-foot diameter thing of stone that is monolithic in the floor. And carved into it is one multi-banded ring that goes all the way around that looks like where are we? It has so it's one big ring, but the ring has 3 bands in it, and it looks like stone and then some kind of purple some kind of purple material, and then you would recognize diamond. One of the bands of this ring is just pure diamond that runs all the way around this circle. Within the circle itself is this triangular diagram with about 3 or 4 foot diameter circles at each of the corners of it. And there are these symbols carved inside those circles and then along the lines that connect them all. That look, and the symbols all look like they have been carved into the stone and then filled with other materials. You see gold, you see some kind of steel or whitish metal, and another that is like maybe sapphire or something. whatever this is, it was holy fuck expensive. I mean, even your mind kind of reels at both the craftsmanship and the expense. You don't even know how somebody got diamond to be one piece in a 20-foot diameter circle. It's absurd. Two more things in the room. One is a large cage that looks like it's made of the same material as the symbol in the floor, only it's set up. And inside, you can see this force that looks like it's made of like alternating between like fire and ice that is just roiling inside it. There is a storm inside this. It's about 10 feet tall, about 5 foot in diameter, and there is just a firestorm swirling inside it, completely contained by the cage. And the final thing is, it looks like the man was moving towards this cage that has the massive swirling storm in it. And I'm sorry, you can see a groove in the floor from the cage that goes towards one of the circles inside this giant circle. One of the circles at one of the corners of that triangle that was set in there. And it looks like he was moving towards that when a wooden beam from the ceiling broke and impaled him to the floor. So there's a corpse. All of the skin is sunken in. It's not rotted, and it doesn't look like there have been any scavengers able to get at it. So it's just a fairly well preserved corpse, but that's been sitting there for a long time. So it stinks horrifically. But it is actually like it went through his back and into the floor, and so he's just kind of propped up, and it looks like he was on his way towards this lattice holding the fire stone.
How is he
Can I move the body?
Sorry, what was that, Vera?
Oh, I was asking how he's dressed. Looks wizardly.
He very wizardly. I mean, it is like he's not wearing. From what you saw in the other rooms, you would expect the full like Merlin hat with gold and whatnot. He is just wearing extremely fine, extremely fine robes that you might expect to see on, an Anashur city councilman. One of the 12 of the Council of Merchants, who are the richest people in the entire city. So that is what you all see as you crowd down into this room. There is a doorway that leads off somewhere else in this room, but we're going to go ahead and pause there for now, and that is where we will pick up next week.
Oh boy.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us as the party was rude to the guardian at the door, who put them somewhere else for 18 days until they escaped. And when we come back next week, we will see what they find in the wizard's tower. So thank you all for joining us. We will be back next Friday. Have a lovely week. Stay safe and stay healthy.